Rentojo Village and Nyamabare Parish. You know better. Then we demarcated Chudubule wetland with concrete pillars. You see it in the pictures. Then we also finalized the wetland management plan. These were done sometime back in collaboration with the Ministry of Water, and now they are now complete. Under WWF, Worldwide Fund, we supported development and approval of the buffer management plan, which was approved by this council, and now it is printed and ready for dissemination. We held 8 community meetings on the River Chambura. These are meetings to discuss with people, consultations, and agree on what to do. We demarcated 18.7 kilometer stretch and marked it out as a buffer on the river so that those on the community, those who are using the land, can change the land use into reforestation. Then we supplied and planted 75,800 tree seedlings. These are for restoration on the river, the area we had demarcated, and these were supplied by WWF. Then we also skilled people, the youth, in bamboo value addition, and now they can easily do the baskets, the lampshades, and other pieces. And the chairperson is also here for the group that was skilled. We are happy to see you. Next. Then I talked about B4R under USAID. They provided a motorcycle to the department, and this is basically to improve on district forestry services. I remember in the last budget conference we had a recommendation of procuring a motorcycle, but now we have, so it is no longer in the recommendations. Then they trained 6 wildlife scouts in the park adjacent communities and gave them all those protective gears that included gumboots, raincoats, torches, and the rest. Then we have World Bank. World Bank is implementing through NFA and UA, and they also supplied beehives. Those who are next to the forest, you see a lot of beehives. Those are for World Bank in the CFM groups. Then they are also doing the CFM arrangements. Then they are reviewing the group formations and conducting trainings. Next. Now, these are the achievements, the very few achievements that we've done for the 3 months. I'll go directly to what we've done. Is that out of all, we've done only tree farm advisory services because we've been in the rain season and people had to plant. So we had to make sure that we mobilize the farmers and then we lobby from WWF to give them seedlings. So now the planting is done and people are now comfortable. Then we also went ahead to train them in plantation, establishment, and agroforestry. Down, the physical planning department has done 1 compliance inspection to check on the tourist hotels that are always growing up. That is what we've done for Q1. Next. Then also our partners have also done something in Q1. Under GCF, they have restored 50 hectares. In this season, they have planted trees, and the planting is still going on. And then they have developed land use plans for 30 farmers, which is also still going on. Then undertook community engagements on restoration of Kamengo Hills in Monjera. Those who come from Katerera, you know that hill. Then WWF has also provided the construction of 16 rainwater harvesting tanks. The water office, I was talking about issues of water, but now when we partnered with WWF, you know Kabukwiri doesn't have water. And even the gravity flow scheme doesn't reach. So we as the natural resource, we lobbied from WWF now to give the household tanks to those people who are adjacent to the forest, and that they accepted. And in the next quarter, this quarter, they have pledged to renovate the wells that are no longer functioning in Kabukwiri so that people adjacent to that forest can access clean water, which is going on. Then they have supplied also tree seedlings As a district, we don't have a source of tree seedlings. So they have done so. They have trained households in soil and water conservation. Those who come from Urutoto, Honorable Irene, there was a problem in Chinoko. We went there, we visited the place. It is a lot of soil and soil erosion. So as a department and in collaboration with WWF, we are working on Chinoko A. We train them with the agriculture officer, and they are doing trenches. We trained 40 households, and now 8 of them have already constructed the trenches. And now for this season, they are testifying that those who didn't construct trenches were affected by the soil erosion. Then the other ones, their water was being tapped, which is something good at the start. We hope to scale it up if it works very well. Then we boosted the honey, WWF boosted the honey business. I was there to witness. They gave 20 millions, you know, Katara Women's, and now they are ready, in case you want honey, now they have a lot of honey. In case you are producing honey, you can sell to them. We now want to eliminate those people who take honey. We want the honey business to be within our district. Then we've introduced the idea of farmer integrated plans. This has been brought by this organization, but with the support from the Canadian government, to train farmers, to enable farmers have a plan of their household. With the limited resources they are having, what are your next plans in the next 3 years? So that you plan using the limited resources for the next 3 years and you effectively use them. So far 77 households in Hankungu and Chaltakoba have undertaken this. This is something new that I'm also learning from, but I see it being very good because people are learning to do things by themselves and then support comes in later. Next. These are the photos for the activities that I was talking about. The truck carrying seedlings, the forest ranger, whom I usually call the senior citizen, showing people how to plant. And on the right, this is the restored area in NNTG. This is indigenous tree, and this is an artificial forest in Kabukwiri. Down here, we are doing community engagements. The senior environment officer and me seated just next to him on River Chambura, because these people were big-headed and they didn't want to restore the river. But now they are willing to work with us. Next. Up. Those are the youth. The youth are very energetic, and they are installing pillars on your left in the wetland. You see the pillars. These pillars were supplied by the Ministry of Water and Environment, and the youth were used to plant them. This is under GCF, and there the youth is also cutting bananas. I hope we shall not cause shortage of food in communities, but we need also to conserve the environment. Then down, these are the soil and water conservation trainings that were done in Chinoko, and the agriculture officer, Biarhanga Peter, is illustrating how it is done. And on the left, on the right, I also had to learn because I didn't know them. Next. These are the community engagements. And Mr. DPO, thank you for being with us in our engagements. The one putting on yellow is Mr. Kanyankwele Saidi. The way we do our things is we get the influential people to come and talk for us, because they know that for us we want to steal their land. So we get the politicians, we get the DPO, the senior citizens, and the LOC ones who will talk for us. So where Kanyankwele was is in Maroro, Magambo, where these people had refused to restore. And thank you, the chairperson, for the committee, and the committee, which also supported us to go and convince them to restore the river. Now we are at par. Next. The challenges. As a department, we experience understaffing to support extension services. We don't have staff at lower local government, but this is hard to rectify. The district has no reliable source of tree seedlings to support restoration activities. As you see in all the presentations, I was talking about WWF giving us seedlings, GCF giving us seedlings. There is where we procured as a district. Then we also experience high level of resistance from encroachers that weakens the environmental conservation. Then, yes, we have resistance. It is very hard for people to be evicted or to allow to do restoration in their areas. Then weak enforcement of laws weak enforcement of laws given the limited resources available. I told you that we have limited operational fees, so you cannot, where we've cut the bananas, by the time you go back, they'll be eating because others would have regrown. And now you want to scale up and go to another area. Increased insecurity of government lands. Everyone wants at Waleko. The negative mindset towards natural resource management. Then recommendations. We recommend to strengthen the partnership with the development partners. So we want to strengthen, to increase our relationship so that whenever they want to go to the field, they can take us. Whenever we want a certain wetland to be restored, they come and support it. Because for us, as a fentono, then there is need for more effort or political support towards conservation. Yes, I will acknowledge that some of the political leaders support us in the restoration activities, but there are some who still fear. But for the votes and the rest. But remember, this is our only planet Earth that we want to conserve. Whether you need or you don't want, climate change will affect you and me, your voters and you. And when the voters are being affected by hailstorms, they will run to you. Why not protect them before the hailstorms come? So we request that support from political leaders. For us, we need people to talk for us. We shall implement what you will say. But we need somebody to talk for us and change the mindset. Then strengthen implementation of cross-cutting environmental interventions by various sectors. In Kao's speech, he talked about having is it the 1% or 5%? 1% on cross-cutting issues. So I kind of request that the plan and the rest to ensure that that percentage on environmental management is being implemented, not being implemented under other activities, and we don't see it. This is also one way on how we can increase on our implementation. Then improve on local revenue allocation to the sector for improved service delivery. We collect a lot of revenue, but we use less, and then you expect more. When you collect less, get less, expect less. Then proposed budget for the next financial year. Our wage will still remain the same. It will be high, and the operations will be low. However, the ENR grant will have increased, and we expect to have the local revenue. However, I didn't include the UWA funding, Mr. Tugume, the way you're seeing it, because I think I don't have a write-up, me as a sector head, and I think they will guide. But people are anxiously waiting for the UWA funds. The chairperson, Chabakara, is here. Everyone is expecting the funding. Those are the words we usually hear. The priorities for next financial year, we are on this district land, and earlier on around 2016-17, we opened it, but now we want to reopen it because we've realized there are some encroachments around, using now these pillars, in cases of our UWA, about NFA, Ezeningwa, so that now these ones are visible. Whenever you're going to cross, you can easily see them. And Buruma agricultural land, because these are titled lands, but they are being stolen. Then we shall do some training. Now this time round we shall go to Toto. We go to Nkugute Catchment Management Committee and the sub-county environment, the one for Toto, we shall train them because now we are coming to you. Then we shall demarcate Nyamsheche wetland in Mugogo so that it is also, the way we do our planning is that these are complaints that come from down and which are realized by LC1s. So this is, we have harmonized with the chairperson from Rieru. He has a, I've seen him around. So your query will be answered here. Then we shall train council members of Katanda. Again, we shall mobilize. I told you we don't have source of seedlings. We shall mobilize and distribute, and we target to distribute 80,000 seedlings, whether from NFA, whether from UA, whether from WWF, whether from GCF. That is our target. We shall have to mobilize and make sure we have that. Then 20 farmers, these are additional. Then 4 district physical planning committee. In these physical planning committees, that is where we approve your development plans. Development plans,
Try to wind up.
I'm through, Chairman. Then also support, in our priority, we shall continue supporting implementation of GCF project next year and partner interventions. WWF, B4R, Nature Uganda, UA, and NFA. Because we have nothing to do, we have to kubekwa atako and we get more support. Thank you for God and my country.
Immediately I call DPO and I am giving you 10 minutes.
Thank you. Chairman, giving me only 10 minutes. Production.
You are wasting your time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bwana Chairman. Once again, I'm called Dr. Mugai Henry, the DVO, but representing the DPMO, Bwana Msasizi. So, on behalf of production, that is our mandate. It is to increase household incomes and food security so as to enhance socio-economic development. For us, we are dealing with the food. What is on the plate is what we are looking at, from natural resource now to food. Next. Under production, those are the subsectors. We have 5. We have production office, agriculture, fisheries, veterinary, and then entomology. Thank you. Then when we look at manpower structure, at the district level, that's the manpower structure. We almost full. DPMO, principal veterinary, principal fisheries, senior agriculture engineer, and the rest. We are full. Next. Then at lower local governments, those are the people. For agriculture, we're almost full. Veterinary, we are supposed to have a veterinary officer at every sub-county. Unfortunately, we only have 2. For fisheries, we are supposed to have 11 fisheries officers, but currently we have 1, so we still have a gap. For assistant agriculture officers, at every sub-county, we are supposed to have 10, but we have 1, so we have a gap of 9. Then for assistant veterinary officers, they are full. Assistant fisheries, they are supposed to be 11, 8 field. So we have a gap of 3. Then the vermin guards, we are full. So for lower local governments, we are not bad off. Next. Then when it comes to what assists us to do our work, that's how we stand. In the department, we have 3 vehicles. But when you look at these vehicles, 2 are running, another one is almost grounded. Then for motorcycles, we have 16 that are assisting us in the local governments. but most of them are running, though a few are not in good mechanical condition. Then when you look at in the fisheries subsector, we have 3 engine boats. One at Kashaka, which is grounded. Another one at Katunguru, also grounded. We have one, but in stores. Though it is new, but it's still in stores. We shall ask why. Then next, we have refrigerator. These are assisting us actually to keep our vaccines well. At first, we didn't have enough cold chain equipments, but now we're okay. We have 2 that are functional, very brand new, and one which needs repair. For GPS, we have. Then when we are doing our work, we also have other implementing partners or people who assist us to deliver services in production. These are some of them. I've not exhausted all, but these are some of them. We have SNV. This is a Netherlands development organization that is assisting farmers to develop pastures for our farmers, and they're operating in those sub-counties, Rieru, Katanda, Magambo, Rutoto, and the rest. So they are assisting us a lot. We have Caritas, Uganda in Imbarara, which is operating in Chabakara and then Katanda. We have Raising the Village, as the word sounds. This implementing partner is assisting us a lot. It is assisting people in Chabakara, Chirugu, Katanda. So people who are in those sub-counties can witness. These implementing partners are doing a very good work to us. Then when you look at last financial year, that's 2023, 2024. That was our resource envelope. That's the last financial year. Our wage, as you see, it takes a big chunk. So don't say production has a lot of money, but it takes a lazy share in this. So using this resource envelope, in total, we have 2.1, which we used last financial year. Next. So using that resource envelope of last financial year, these are what we managed to achieve. We managed to carry out disease, crop disease and pest control. We were supposed to do 4 visits, and we did all of them. Then we did vaccinations. Our target was 10,000 animals, but we managed to achieve 87%. Then inspection of animals for slaughter, our target was 5,000, but we managed to do that. Then disease surveillance. In production, this is a problem and pests. So we have to do surveillance, continuous checking out for these diseases. Every quarter we plan one. Last year we were able to do all the quarters. Then we do technical supervision of PDM and other veterinary activities in the field. We had planned 4 and we did all of them. Then technical supervision. Then stocking of cages. Actually, when it comes to the fisher subsector here, we have cages. We had planned to stock only 30, but God was on our side and we stocked more than what we expected, so it was beyond. Then when it came to the ponds, these dark lakes, we were able to stock. We were supposed to stock 150, but unfortunately we only stocked 180. Then undertaking patrols for capture fish, we had planned actually 48, but we were able only to do 32. Then if we continue with the achievements for last financial year, nobody missed the salary, as you see, 100%. When it comes to coordination and coordinating production sector activities, we had planned actually 4, and we were able to do all 12 for the month. Then the technical consultations and taking reports to the ministry, the DPMO was able to do all of them. Then if we continue with achievements for last financial year, these are the achievements. We were able to carry out sensitization, surveillance, and control of vermin conducted. We had planned 120 and we did all of them. These meetings are so many in the field. That's why you see there are so many. Then training and advising commercial bee farmers on increasing productivity and productivity. We had planned 25 and we did all of them. So the funding was fairly well. Then the deployment and inspection of the supply traps. So traps up and injury 400, but we managed to lay only 320. But we have other traps in stock. Then supply of beehives. There are some implementing partners that assisted us in supplying these beehives. And we planned to actually supply 900, and they managed to give us all of them, and we supplied all of them. Then training of value chain groups, and then exchange fees for value addition for bee farmers. We had planned before, and we did all of them. Then when it comes to this financial year, the current financial year, that is our resource envelope. Just as I said, the salaries takes a big chunk. Then the rest, we have non-wage, conditional, development, then parish model, and then the local revenue. So if you look at, that is 2.5, our resource envelope for this financial year. And under this financial year, continue. These are what we are supposed to do. We've just completed quarter one. That has ended in September. So we are in the second quarter. So this is what we've managed to cover. We've paid the salaries for the last quarter. Then we are coordinating production sector activities for the 3 months. We've done it well, and nothing is lacking. Then supervision of installation of micro-scale irrigation. Micro-irrigation is an important, actually, project which we are running under production because of these seasons that are changing. So we've managed to install in sub-counties of Rutoto, 2 of them. Those from Rutoto can witness, Chairman. I think I'm not deceiving. Chirugu, we have 6. Do we have Chairman? 3 Chirugu here. Unfortunately, has not come. Then in Katerera, we have 1. I hope I'm not deceiving. They can bear witness to me. Then we've carried out this surveillance on BBW, banana bunch, top disease, and then banana rust diseases. And we plan 1 surveillance per quarter. So far, 1 has been complete. That's why you see 25. Then we've supported the construction of 28 fish ponds. Then our target was 18. So we've already achieved 6 farmers. Then vaccination of livestock against various diseases and veterinary. We are planning 10,000, but so far we've worked on 3,252. So we are not doing bad. Then the disease surveillance, we normally do once per quarter, and we've so far done 1. Despite all that, there are challenges we are experiencing under production, and these are some of the challenges. Because of climate change, you know, Rita has been lamenting about climate change, so it has become a problem on our side, especially delayed rains, sometimes hailstorm coupled with the landslides with high incidence of pests and diseases are a challenge to the production. Then we have insufficient funds. Much as you are seeing a budget big, but the funds are not enough to do all the agricultural extension services. When it comes to growing our crops, the fertilities of soils are declining every other day. I don't know whether that's why, because we are using chemicals, I cannot actually tell. But the soil fertility is declining every other day. We have price fluctuations for agricultural produce, like coffee, like maize, like each and everything. Things are changing. Today it is selling at this price, another day it is lowering. So there is need for government intervention to stabilize these prices. Low capacity of a farmer institution to plan for demand-driven agricultural development services. So our farmers cannot actually demand very well. So farmers are usually demanding for allowances. Whenever we call these farmers to give them knowledge on how to improve their things, when you call them for a meeting, people are demanding for allowances every day. Actually, one of the implementing partners, Raising the Village. Whenever Raising the Village calls people, it gives them allowances. So even us, when extension workers call these people for training, Kintu Kidogo, when they send, they know that there is allowance. Then high rates of overfishing in community crater lakes. This one is self-explanatory. People are overfishing. In Katerera, I'm told, abantu barese n'obutimba bw'amasanyalaze bakabuteeka mu nyanza ziitu. So it is a big problem. If you go to the market, no grow nyanza obukwingana buti. So that's a big problem. We have post-harvest losses. Those ones I don't comment. Then limited office space. I think this one is going to be solved very soon. Then our recommendations. We need to network with other development partners and also lobby.
5 minutes.
I'm about to finish. We need to intensify mobilization and sensitization of farmers for active participation in production activities. Then adoption of new technologies, especially one is gearing towards increased production. If you look at things like micro-irrigation, people have not known what we need by micro-irrigation. When the rains are not there, people are not producing. Yet we are bringing micro-irrigation to help people produce these things throughout the year. We don't want people to think of waiting for the natural rains only. Intensification of enforcement on fish illegalities on community lakes. This is still a big problem, so we need to do that. So for the financial year, which is coming, 2025-2026, this is our envelope. We shall have the wage, the nanny wage will be that. I don't want to go into that. And our resource envelope will be around 2.6. So using this, we hope to do this. These are our priorities for the next financial year. In the interest of time, I don't want to go into the details. We shall pay salaries, we shall pay salaries for 12 months. Coordinating, we shall support parish development committees, PDM, for the 53 parishes. The budget is here. Then sector planning meetings, we are planning to do 4 meetings. Monitoring and supervision of government programs, we expect per quarter to monitor once. Then we are expecting to buy more 3 motorcycles to assist our extension workers, lower local governments. Then agricultural technologies we shall procure to the farmers. Then we shall have technical consultations made and reports submitted to the line ministries. And then we hope also to recruit VOs, AAOs, fisheries officers, and assistant fisheries officers. The numbers are there. Then we also expected to do the development of model parishes for enterprise production and productivity in the 53 parishes. Then we're expecting to collect and compare agricultural statistics once per quarter. And we expect to carry out crop diseases and pest control campaigns and surveillance. And we are planning to do it every quarter once. Then we're expecting to do agricultural shows, stroke exhibitions. And finally, we are supposed to, we're expecting to strengthen quality assurance, regulation, and safety standards for agricultural products. That's once per quarter. Then under veterinary, we're expecting to do vaccinations, and that's our target. Inspection of animals for slaughter, that's our target. Surveillance and monitoring of livestock diseases, we shall conduct 4 visits. Then train and advise livestock farmers on increasing productivity. We're expecting to advise around 3,200 farmers. Technical verification of veterinary inputs under GCF and other projects, we shall be supplying some of these. So we expect 2 seasons. Then monitoring and technical supervision of veterinary activities in the field. We expect to do it once every quarter, and we expect 4. So then under fisheries, we're expecting to do quantity of fish harvested, and our target is 850 metric tons. Then we shall also have ponds constructed, and our target is 112. We shall also undertake patrols for capture fish, and we're expecting to do 12 patrols. Then we shall establish aquaculture demo sites, and we expect to do 2. Then aquaculture tour, we expect a target of 10 farmers. Then we are expecting to license fishers. Those are the people dealing fish, and we expect we have a target of 364. Under entomology, we're expecting to do sensitization, surveillance, and control of vermins, and we expect to do 4 visits. Then train and advise commercial bee farmers on increasing production and productivity, and expect 10 groups we are going to train and advise. Then inspection of fly traps for control. So we're expecting to lay around 50 traps, and that's it. So according to our budget, that's the major unfunded priority under production. That is installation and stocking of fish cages on minor lakes like Mugogo and Chamwiga. These are some of the good lakes we have, but people are not using these lakes. Thank you very much. Actually, continue briefly. These are some, the pictures were not shown, but we had some pictures to show some of the achievements and things we've been doing. Sorry, we shall do that later.
Thank you. Before I call commercial officer, the senior agriculture officer has something to add on presentation of
Okay, thank you very much. Protocol observed. Mine is to introduce to you a new disease that is also attacking our bananas in our fields. It is called banana bunch top disease. I will request that you continue, because the introductions we shall not need them. I only want to there. You seeing the disease? This is a BBTV disease, and it's being carried by these aphids. You know aphids in the beans? Yes, we continue. Continue. The disease is already in Kasese, and RUBIRIZI is highly independent, because we expect it can cross. So we feel we raise an awareness to you, so that you help us when we are interjecting the transportation of banana planting materials. Please don't think that we are violating the law. Continue. Now there it is where it is. It is in Kasese and in West Nile. Those districts of Maracha, Arua, Zombo. Continue. Nebi. Continue. And those are the districts where the disease is. Already it's there. Then the symptoms. The disease, as you realize, it looks like this. It's like this. So this one is a different one. Of course, you may not see it, but it's like this, and maybe the paper can move. The paper can move. Then you watch. It affects the leaves. The leaves don't spread as a normal crop. They fold. they form a bunch, and they continue. The overall plant is very stunted and does not produce a fruit. And there is severe, like that, continue. That is the banana top punch disease. That's how it looks like. The crop doesn't grow, and even the leaves break very fast. Continue. What I want to inform you that the tools may not affect the other plant. That is the difference now. You know, we have BBW. If you use the tools to another plant, it affects it. But this one is different. It doesn't affect another plant. And it is only killed easily with soap water. Water or omo, it is killed. So now when you look there, you will see how devastated the plantation is. And if we leave it spread in RUBIRIZI, it means we can lose the whole plant. So we need to be vigilant. That's how it is, how it affects the plant and its impact. Then the management, we have cultural practices. We can read these planting materials, clean plant materials from certified sources, and you remove the oral comb. It's nakachwa no chiaho, ochukura, kandi no controlling aphids, and we only have to use soap water. Then quarantine methods, we can also restrict the movement of planting materials, and most especially from those affected areas. So we need to use resistant breedings, and we request the people concerned, like the research, to also develop a variety that is resistant to the disease. Continue. We have the integrated. So let's look there. Action plan for BBTV prevention, control in RUBIRIZI, 2024-25. And actually now, before it is detected, we are still on surveillance. We have not detected it. When we are doing this, we are doing for surveillance and the BBTV awareness in all the 10 local governments, then train and build and capacity building to be carried out to all extension workers, and surveillance to be carried out in all the 10 local governments. And we hope to form task forces like we formed those ones of BBW. And after detection, we shall do mobilization and sensitization of farmers in all the local governments. Then we we implement all the measures to eradicate it. Also to develop an ordinance and bylaws for BBTV, and we shall continue with the plan to control it. Then quarantine measures to be established. Then BB control to be continued monitoring, then coordination. In conclusion, as you're seeing, this is River Rubiria, where the people of Kasese, they cross, they stay in Congo, tomorrow they are in Uganda. So DRC remains a nursery bed for BBTV to Uganda, and within the community, there is a lot of exchange of planting materials from Congo. And the BBTV, epidemiology, this is the method of spreading, how it's Congo that is spreading much of this disease. Then urban farming also, farmers who produce bananas in their areas where they are staying in towns, they always speak. Like a person goes to Congo and he brings the planting material, and you find it is spreading. Then those ones who are abandoning the banana plantations, and they abandon for other enterprises. It is very bad. We need to emphasize on that we keep on the plant. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Senior Agriculture Officer, because this information was actually needed. That's why I allowed you to extend the minutes I had given you. District Commercial Officer, 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Protocol observed. My name is Tebaze Crescencio, District Commercial Officer. Here to make our presentation as the slides look many, but I will only tell you to go to where I want you to. Our sector mandate is to develop and promote a competitive and export-led private sector through accelerating industrial development for economic growth. That has been on. Go to the next slide. The sector came into existence in 2019, July. We have two subsectors, that is trade and commercial services, then the tourism subsector. We have an approved staff structure of 8 people, 8 staff, but currently only 3 are filled, and we have the 5 vacant. So the 3, we have the district commercial officer, myself. We have the principal commercial officer, which has gone to Katera to attend an AGM for one of the cooperatives. And then the commercial officer, 1. We had a senior tourism officer, but he resigned 2 months back. So we are back to 37% performance in that area. Go to the next slide. You can leave that one. We don't have any equipment. Our resource envelope for 2023-2024 was approved as shown there, though I always have issues with the budget desk. Mr. Kao always have budget issues with the budget desk. I was approved that budget, but the local revenue I realized is 0. So that was the approved budget, but the realized budget, you would subtract the 4 million. So of that 10 million is for our activities, the recurrent activities, then 53 is for the wage. So like the natural resources officer said, we have the wage people earning the salary, but when it comes to implementing activities, they have no tools, they have no funds, so they end up sitting up in offices and doing nothing. So, but with our little fund, the 10 million, from July 2023 to date, we have been able to do the following. I simplified them in narratives so that I don't confuse you with the tables and you don't understand. So the salaries for all the 4 staff were paid in that year. We helped the RUBIRIZI Growers Cooperative Society and Haruba Coffee Farmers Cooperative Society to renew their certificates, because that is one of our activities with the Ministry of Trade. We also helped Katera United Farmers to register as a new cooperative in that same period. And we have mobilized the Mushumba Catholic Circle and Kakari Coffee Farmers. They are about to get their certificates. They are in the registration process. We have helped 23 Myoga Circles to renew their registration certificates with the Ministry of Trade. And we have helped 30 Myoga Circles and 53 PDM Circles to carry out their annual statutory audits for the last financial year. That's 2023. Because for them, they use the calendar year. We helped Chambara Farming Cooperative Society to have the amendment of their bylaws and approved by the Register of Cooperative Societies. We did an inspection and monitoring exercise in 10 traditional circles operating in the district. We attended and facilitated at all those AGMs for all those circles, including our own staff circle and other Myoga circles. So all the AGMs were attended, and we facilitated those AGMs, and actually the principal commercial officer is right now facilitating with the commercial officer of Katera Town Council at the Katera United Farmers Cooperative Society meeting today. We prepared and ensured all the 53 PDM circles were capitalized by Ministry of Finance, and none of our circles missed the funds in the last financial year. So each of our circles received the 100 million for the parish revolving fund and the 500,000 as admin costs. We helped the 5 9,550 PDM beneficiaries accessed their parish revolving funds amounting to 9,550 million. So there was a lot of backstopping there. A lot of resources were used at that point. We held 3 PDM review meetings here at the district, and we have another one next week, but next week. We have held 3 trainings for technical staff and PDM circle leaders in the same period. We worked closely with the area MP in Katera constituency and did monitoring in that constituency for all those parishes. We did the monitoring for PDM together with the MP. Of course, segregated data was compiled on all money lenders in the district, and that data was required by the Ministry of Trade, and we submitted the report. What I want to point out there, we had issues with people not accessing funds for PDM due to lack of endangamuntu. So I already pointed out in my previous reports that over 4,000 people of RUBIRIZI are not living with their original national IDs because they are pledged in the kafunas. And in the district currently we have approximately 17 money lenders, registered money lenders operating, and they are holding people's national IDs. So we need to sensitize our people to live away with the money lenders. First of all, the percentage is very high. We have other financial institutions where they can access funds at low cost and still retain their IDs. Provide data on agricultural processing facilities and storage facilities in the district, and that data was required by the Ministry of Local Government, and it was submitted to the PS as required and in time. Part of that, we have their facility in Katanda, which is not functional, of the KAIP facilities. And today in the morning, I was being called by UEDCL that took over from the Kirembe Investments. They were asking me the meter number for that facility because we were making a follow-up last week. So today they were calling me asking for the meter number. So I've requested the person here responsible to get me the meter number. I think I would have submitted by close of this meeting, that meter number. Then under Presidential Initiative on Skilling the Youth Program, in the period we are implementing, we have had 3 intakes. So in the 3 intakes, 29 students have already graduated, 14 were for the second intake, 15 were third intake, and actually 14 more students have gone there for the 4th intake, and they are under skilling. We mobilized and organized a youth boot camp at Rugazi Parish, and on 27th November, and that had been facilitated by UCOB's project under Mbaro University of Science and Technology, and this was also about skilling the youth, and our cow attended that function, and then about 60 youth participated in that program, and we are making a follow-up of what they learned in that 1-week boot camp. Under the tourism subsector, they organized 2 harmonization meetings of hotel owners and managers, both in Katunguru and Chamba, and they were to harmonize on issues to do with hotel tax, and the cow was the one presiding over that meeting, and we hope that is part of the lead activities that we implemented. We backed the Wanderlust Nature Expedition to organize and conduct a safari splash tourism event in the district, and this was about sensitizing the people about the rich tourism potential we have in the district and promoting our domestic tourism. Then we mobilized and participated in the World Tourism Day. In Kasese, we participated in the Peace Conference and also had activities to do with sports and the exhibitions. So we had a number of our participants there, and our football teams, both the Corporate League and the District Football team, they participated well. The district team reaching the semi-finals. Then we mobilized the 5 leaders from the business community, and together with my office, we attended the URSB training on mass registration of businesses, and I'm right now registering businesses and registering names and companies, and we are going on well. We helped Katera United Farmers to join in Miro Cooperative Union as part of our market linkages output, and they are now, actually today they are going to pass a resolution on trading vanilla, and the Enimero Union representatives are already there at Sabako. We organized and had the 1-day training for lead investment committee, and this was facilitated by officials from the Ministry of Local Government, and our cow was part of that, and the other technical team. So that is what we did with our little funds and many other activities I have not mentioned. But these are some of the service delivery gaps that we had during our implementation. And the funding of the sector, that has been there, has remained the song. No means of transport, yet all our work is in the field. We are not supposed to be in the office, but we are tied. We have no gadgets, especially to do with PDM. I went a lot of stress during PDM implementation, especially in this last phase of disbursements, dealing with local people on how using the phone, using the laptop, which laptops they don't have, smartphones that they don't have, but the government wants the funds disbursed digitally. So we went through a lot. We don't know what the government is still thinking about that. Diversion of parish revolving funds by beneficiaries to non-flagship projects. Mr. RDC is aware of this, and he has been monitoring with me this program, so he knows what we have. So production you have presented, but our biggest challenge is using your extension staff, and we ensure the money is injected in the projects that they actually applied for. That is our biggest task right now. Because all the funds have been disbursed more than 101%. RUBIRIZI, we are among the first districts now in terms of disbursements. In Western, we are the first. Okay? Remember on 25th December, we were the last. But I'm saying now we are among the first 10 in the country in terms of disbursement. So our task is to follow up these funds and make sure they are injected in the right projects. Cases of extortions, these were there. I want to thank the Mr. RDC for following up these cases. We have fought hard on these cases, but they are still doing them. And even today, right now, I was handling a case before I came here from Mugogo. So these things are there. We need to work together. Technical challenges, I've already talked about that one. Use of systems by local people. Then poor performance of Myoga program. Myoga is still a problem. Actually, yesterday we had a meeting with RDC and COW and DISO to resolve some of the issues in Myoga. And Mr. COW wants to inform me that the program has been drawn and the budget has been drafted and the requisition has already been prepared for your desk to endorse, so that next week we can start on that verification exercise. Inadequate office space, then inadequate office furniture, and inadequate staff. Now we are 3 staff in the department, both tourism and commercial services. Take me to the next slide. The recommendations, some of them we are just proposing because we are still praying to God that we can get means of transport. The tourism subsector needs to be supported, and they come up with a development plan, tourism development plan, if we are to benefit from the tourism sector. Then budget desk, I'm still requesting that in the allocation of the resources, please think about this department in terms of the local revenue. That's how we can survive. Then government is still, I'm still demanding from government to still guide us on the recovery of the Myoga funds. Because we have a challenge with that program where people think this was a token of appreciation from His Excellency. And recovering the funds is not simple. Then more staff to be recruited, especially replacing the tourism officer. And this time we need a person who knows about this sector so that we can benefit from tourism. Sector objectives are in alignment with the NDP4, so I will not go through them, but they guide us on what we should do as a sector. Now this is our budget for the next financial year, 2025-2026. I want to thank the government in general and the representatives here that this time the tourism subsector has been given a grant, and they are appearing on the table also this time. So they are no longer dependent on the commercial services sector, but they have their own grant. So we have the district, that wage, the unconditional grant for the wage. We have the program and conditional grant for the non-wage. That is what we have been getting for trade. And then this time around, they gave us a district unconditional grant, non-wage of 1.5. So this financial year we got it, and next year we hope we shall also get it. Then the tourism development grant. So they are now getting 6.4 million. And this 6.4 million purposely for projects. And now this time, as we go to the priorities, you'll see, we are going to dedicate that money. We can also have some furniture in the office. So we hope to contribute also to this building by buying. That money can buy at least 25 seats. so that we can also contribute to the furniture in this building. Then the tourism conditional grant, now they also have some little money to implement the activities on their own. And this time around, I've put local revenue dash because for the past 2 years, we have not received local revenue. And I've not found any instance of putting it as part of my budget in the next financial year. It will be up to the desk budget to give me some figure. Other than putting it on my budget, and I end up not implementing the activities because of realizing nothing. So those will be our priorities for the next financial year. And for us, they are guided by the grant guidelines. You cannot change them. So those narratives, the planned outputs are already given to us. The percentages are already given to us. You can't change anything. So, like they are mentioned, maybe you will go through them because you have the write-ups. But those are the outputs we shall be implementing. Trade development activities and promotion. Businesses. Actually, last week we were doing some verification in Katerra. And I want to sensitize my people, especially the honorables here, that when you go back, this is what we found out during our verification. Mr. Chair, abantu mshuburo sanjire nibiba abantu munonga mbiti bya minjani nanye some of the techniques bienta kuzimanya. So hata kama barega minzani naturally mbarikora rigine honka nkakina kacamute konka katafumwire. Okay? So sanjire abantu bagaraka ba welding amabarago bagafiringa mu with some metal mwena kina bakigaza hati no ribibare rya minzani barukutera minzani enyamehika ningo buhunga buhika ota konkibare rya minzani bakaryuza musama akakina bakafiringa bakasiringa hati karete ribare rya remera munonga than the usual weight. So utayitiryo omunanko mukutwaringa no mukuverifyinga businesses twashanga moje, and it is across in most of your shops there, especially Katerra town. So mugambira abantu bashangaga mabarega minzana gatine bwina ha mutwe abena amanyango ribare bakariteka mu kintu cyo mangururemere hati obungo bamha ninga sukari bamha teshikiri. So we have got about nanka the Bureau of Standards come and help us do the enforcement, because my office cannot do the enforcement. So plus other things harmu nozomu do hardware oshanga binam cement yemiringo ebi emwe bakugira ngo gine bagiguze 310 312 kandi emwe bagiguza nkebero n'ekicweka kandi yone parkingire hata yubuza kandi waza kusoma hoje bahandikiro nibyenda kushana na measurements zenda kushana. So atecho kuretera echo ni measurements kandi wisho takukimanya bakuguza kare kake ahabe yahigura ko bahandikiro nibishana. So bare buri mu tegerezo rinka speaker hati bakuguza ryeshikiri uta. So ebintu ngebyo tubishangiremo short measures and weights nebindi. So hata mwe tukoreria output number 1. Output number 2 ejo niya supportinga abariyomba entrepreneurs market linkages no kurinkinga nanka producers bitu na no butarayiburi nkaba mu PPD bushenyi na mbwen am glad PPD nenda kuija ku installinga some stores in some of the areas where we have the cooperatives in Ndangaro, okay, and Rubirizi Town Council. Anytime they will be doing an installation of the stores and giving them tractors to do the correction of the matoke, and then they help us in doing the koreberento chenebindi. So they are coming. That program is coming.
2
Cooperatives.
2 minutes.
Yes, I'm finalizing. Because I'm on the last slide. Cooperatives. My mandate is to make sure every quarter, at least I'm registering two cooperatives, and I'm glad our people in Rubirizi are coming up, and I'm getting applications for registering cooperatives on a daily basis. So that mandate is moving, and it's only the way we can industrial development chineho problem aha izo tukatu inaba UEDCR bizere kusensitizing on how we can support our people kugereza gukora ubuntu buke bwa popcorn machine kugereza fridge mwene kurango business kero yakwa ine business yemyenda aina makandi kantu akakosa amashanyarazi kunkaka kubasa kumutahiza akasente. Tourism nanagigambiraho tinguza garukayo. Sector management mwene mwe tukora ebya cross cutting issues nkebya HIV na environment management budget no kwene hot kujia. Then unfunded priorities is we shall continue to pray until we get the funds. There was a slide I wanted to end with a slide that was talking about, you can go back a bit, talking about the current Sorry, maybe I missed that one. But I had wanted to inform people of the current programs that are running and where we participate or where we come in. One of those is the GROW project. I hope the community development community officer will talk about it in depth. Then we have of course, they have the PDM, we have yoga, we have youth skilling. Then we have other government funds in commercial banks where people can go and access the what? We have the small credit facility in Post Bank, Centenary, Housing Finance, those government banks. That facility is there at the lowest interest rate, 10%. Our people can go and apply. If they want to know more about it, they can approach my office for guidance. Then we have other funds in Microfinance Support Center for those who want to go doing commercial farming extensively. They can also access funds from the Microfinance Support Center on an individual basis and cooperative basis. So you can also approach my office for guidance on that one. And also, of course, we have the small, the Business Recovery Fund. That is for those businesses that are affected by the effects of COVID-19. That facility is also still there in the commercial banks, coordinated with, under the coordination of Bank of Uganda. So you can also come and approach my office, and I guide your people on how to approach those funds at the cheapest cost, and they avoid money lenders. I thank you. That was my presentation.
Thank you very much. My Secretary for Finance, I think you have noted about the local revenue. The money is crying. There is a budget, but nothing is being given. Do we have Chairperson LC3 for Katanda? Sub-County Chief Katanda? You look for a meter number for Kofhara in Kachindo, in Katanda, then you give it to the commercial office. Period. Commercial officer has given us a very good news that we are the first in Western Uganda to disperse PDM funds. And my friends who are best friends of social media, you normally keep on posting things which are not taking us anywhere. You post that. Because posting bitakutuyamba ati posting echo tugiyabo kubanza mu Western Uganda okweze sente za PDM echo nchibasa kujya icyatu. Mama posting bitine mugasho. DHO members, you will keep noting. We shall have time for discussion. DHO.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Chairman, the RDC, COW, ladies and gentlemen, I stand to present the budget framework paper for the health sector 2025-2026. I'm called Tiwenda Bulemu Kisesete. I am a doctor by training. Our sector mandate to reduce morbidity and mortality from major causes of ill health of the people in the district. This is achieved through coordination, planning, monitoring, and supervision, health promotion, epidemic and disaster preparedness and response, capacity building, and regulation in the district. The composition is through the DHO's office, health education and promotion, drug inspection, maternal, newborn and reproductive health, HIV, TB and leprosy, neglected tropical diseases, and then environmental health. Next. The sector profile is that we have one health office, which is situated at the district, one health center 4, named Rugazi, 9 health center 3s, that is Chwamba, Katunguru, Katera, Chava, Karamunyonyi, Mubanda, Chenza, Zabutoha, and Ndangaro. We have one upcoming health center 3, that is Monjera Health Center 3, 5 health center tools, Rumuri, Kashaka, Mushumba, Kisenyi, and Kashaka. Our goal is good health and well-being for the people through health promotion and disease prevention across all ages. The objective to improve the foundation of human capital development through promoting increased access to health services to all categories of people in the district. Strategically, we want to emphasize on health promotion and disease prevention. We want to engage the prevention of non-communicable diseases, prevention of communicable diseases and their control. We want to adequately respond to any emerging disease outbreak and appropriately manage the health staff, their entry, their stay and exit, and then mount a high caliber of health services, envisaging transparency and accountability in our service delivery. Our health manpower stands at 35% positions filled. The gap is still too much, and it requires to lobby for a lot of wage so that we can at least make around 70% staffing level. Equipment, we have 1 functional vehicle and 1 non-functional. 2 motorcycles, 6 of them are non-functional. At health center 4 level, 1 functional vehicle, 2 functional motorcycles, and 9 non-functional. At center 3 level, 8 functional motorcycles, 2 non-functional. At 2 level, 5 functional motorcycles, 2 non-functional, and the totals are as shown. Next. At office, we have 3 printers. Health Center 4 has 2. The rest don't have any printers. Next. We have a number of development partners with whom we share the task of delivering services. We have Gavi, which provides support to immunization services. LPHS Sankole provides support to fight against AIDS, and we are determined to end it in RUBIRIZI by 2030, because so far in the country, we are among the best people who retain people in care, and through that we are able to envisage that we can end HIV. We have ACODEV, Maristops, and Reproductive Health Uganda. These help us in providing family planning so that our birth rate can be regulated. Mayanja Memorial Hospital Foundation supports us with integrated community case management of childhood illnesses, malaria, TB, HIV, and pneumonia. The Uganda Health Activity, USAID, maternal and child health and health system strengthening. Then we have international community of women living with HIV in East Africa. This strengthens the systems in the community to fight malaria, HIV, and TB. Resource envelope for 2024 was 6,454,459 under the categories of wage, which takes the largest chunk of the money. Non-wage for the law facilities was 250. Rent-based financing was 178 million, and then at the district 45. Development money was about 1.5 billion. What did we achieve? We constructed a chain link around Chichwamba, general ward and staff constructed at Monjera. The picture in the slide is the newly constructed general ward at Monjera, Health Center 3 in Katerera. We started the general ward and staff house at Butoha, yet to be completed within this fiscal year. We completed renovation of doctor's house at Rugazi, and the operating theatre was also renovated by the UPDF using money given to us by Ministry of Finance. We have also started the extension of maternity ward at Rugazi, and it is about to be completed. During the period under review, we also received equipment for Monjera Health Center 4, and I want to say, by 1st November, some services will start being offered at Monjera Health Center, although it is still under construction. We received 2 motorcycles for TB leprosy supervision and surveillance, and the picture in there is the motorcycle that we received for surveillance services. During this first quarter of this financial year 24-25, we have so far received 2 immunization activities at DHO's office, 2 motorcycles. There is some omission there. 2 motorcycles to do to support in the immunization activities. One is at DHO's office and the other at Rugazi. Health Child Uganda also donated 2 motorcycles to DHO's office. We have completed the reprocurement process for the completion of the OPD block and another staff house at Monjera Health Center 3. We have also completed a general ward staff house at Monjera, as shown in the picture. Then in the software activities, the sub-program managed to do support supervision to all health facilities last quarter, salary payment to all the staff, health promotion, disease prevention activities were done, routine immunization is ongoing, out and inpatient services and the productive health services in the 3 districts have also been done and are continuing to be done. During the time of execution, the following were big thorns in our feet. 1, the staff establishment to improve. There is an increase in adequate accommodation for health workers in most of the health facilities. As the staff increases, the need also for accommodation increases. The staff program has 2 constituencies, but we have been running with 1 health sub-district, as you know it, and becoming overwhelmed. We don't have fences around all the health facilities, and this is a threat to people who want free things and walk in to steal. The department also runs without an ambulance, which makes referral very hard for us to sustain the lives of those at stake. 3 staff houses built in Muvanda, Munyonyi, Chabakara Health Center 3 remain incomplete owing to the fact that funds were inadequate. Muvanda staff house has no pit latrine. That was a bit challenge because in there, when it is at night and one wants to help himself or herself, it becomes a challenge. Something that was omitted and I needed to bring to the house is that Katunguru Health Center has a problem of wild animals, and the fence was pulled down by elephants when they are searching for water. And then the water tanks there have also been destroyed. So in the recommendations, we have the following to recommend: that there is need to lobby for funding to construct more staff houses to accommodate majority of the staff, lobbying for community hospitals in the district, since that is the agenda the ministry is trying to lobby for, running away from health center force. We need to also lobby for a community health center for in Katerera, because 2 constituencies by policy, each constituency is supposed to have either health center for or a community hospital. More funding to be lobbied for, to cater for fencing of all the health facilities, so that entry by unknown and unrecognized people can be minimized. We need to plan for 2 VIP latrines, 1 at the staff house in Muvanda and 1 at Katerera, and then plan to have the 2 staff houses of Muvanda and Munyonyi completed. During this coming financial year, the budget has reduced to 5,187,000,000. The previous year, it was 6 billion. What makes this? Because the development fund has been reduced. We used it to benefit from the U-Gift. Now that we are done with U-Gift projects in the district, we may not get more funding for that matter, because all our sub-counties and town councils have had at least Health Center 3. And U-Gift was aimed to have Center 3s in all sub-counties and town councils. Next. Our priorities for this financial year are very few. We want to complete the house at Mubanda. We want to construct a VIP latrine at Mubanda. And then the recurrent activities, of course, carrying out support supervision and monitoring, training staff in performance improvement and planning, conducting health promotion activities, disease prevention and control, because this is where we should be going. We should only come to health facilities when we are either delivering or we have a chronic and a non-communicable disease like diabetes, hypertension. Not coming there because we have malaria, not coming there because we have diarrhea, but the other aspects which can be controlled at village level should remain in the village, and then come to hospital to check your blood pressure, to check your diabetic level, and those are the ones we are trying to see. We want to do supervision of capital projects to see that they are at the standard and the workmanship is good. We need to establish user-friendly health services in schools and outside schools, because majority of the youth are found in schools, are fewer in the villages, so that we are able to control and help manage themselves before they go out of hand. We need to conduct nutrition interventions. The production was charged to have a district nutrition committee, although it is already existing and is headed by someone in the health sector. Unfunded priorities remain as they have been, because we need to have some of the status changed, like Rugazi to become a community hospital, Katerera to have a community hospital, and then mobilization and sensitization on sanitation, where we don't, according to the water presentation, you saw that the latrine coverage is only 92.5. We would wish to have it at 100%, so that we are able to be proud of our sanitation. We want to also say that our hand washing practices should increase, because hand washing equipment in the district is only at 35%, and that is too low. So with this, I thank you for having listened to me.
Thank you, DHO. We had an official there from WUA. I don't know where he has gone. Okay. Next is the DCDO, District Community Development Office.
Session Chair, protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. My name, I know you call me Agre, but my name is Tinemjinya Agre, Senior Community Development Officer for the DCDO, who is nearby with us. What makes us a sector is social transformation of the community by empowering them to harness their potential through skills development, labor productivity, safe working environment, protection of the rights and freedoms of the vulnerable, and gender responsive development. We have a wider mandate, and it means that every sector is almost within us. We move. Our sector, what we have in our sector, we have as many as like 8 sub-offices. The coordination, the community, gender, probation, youth, and almost every office has an officer or an assigned office. We move. Manpower structure, we don't have a problem with manpower because we're almost full. We move. That is what we have as our equipment in the office. We move. This is our budget. Our running budget of 188,813,043. But unfortunately, when you move to the next slide, go to the next slide, move. It is falling by almost 4 million because the next running budget we are at 185 budget. That means that now the local revenue, the section of finance, you should think of replacing because the center cannot hold. And those who took literature, when the center cannot hold, things fall apart. Is it so? We can move. That you can also move. That is how it is written at the minor officer and authorities. We can move this. What we have achieved, we have picked out 6 key achievements for us to consume today because they are monitored, they are auditable, and they are questionable. We also want to say yes or no if these things are there or not there. The first one is community mobilization and mindset change. This is our pillar performance. Yes, I want us to tell us, have we mobilized people under PDM, under GCF, under water, under sanitation, under the big new animal called GROW? You either say yes or no so that we can make revision. 2, empowerment. Empowerment goes with something like money, okay? So under us we have given, for this year, we have given 7 groups of women. In total number there are 43. We have given them 30 million. We went to youth, that is YLP, we call it Youth Rivalry Project. We gave 7 groups of 57 youth with 35 million. Move. We have what we call the elderly grant. That is given between people of 60 and 79. Those who can do something, we give them money, and we have given 5 groups close to 19.2 million. We have people with disabilities. We said disability is not what? Is not inability. So we have some disabled people, they can do something. We have given 10 groups, 47 million. We have welfare, survival, those for people who have gone beyond 79 to 100 plus. We see 171 million, but it is 323 because every individual gets 25,000 every month, times the number you see there, 1,078. Because in our district we have 1,184 elderly people. Those who are supposed to benefit under the welfare grant. But because of system and other challenges, we made sure that we pay 1,078, and when we multiply it by 25 per month, it is 323 million, not 171. We have statutory council meetings. Those are also issues of questions of PWD executive, PWD council, women executive, youth council, PWDs. We have managed to have them held at least quarterly, either by executive or a full council, because we don't have funds to have them as they are supposed to do. We can move. Legal protection. We are the probation and welfare officers. We have issues, the cases of women, children, we are there. We also have labor under our department, so we are supposed to have issues of laborers under the private sector. We handle their compensation, we calculate what they are supposed to get, we go to court for them. That is where we are. Linkage and networking. These are where we, almost all the NGOs you have seen, under HRSA, under production, we are the coordinators. We work with them to make sure they perform, and we monitor their function. Can we move? Medium term, this is the detail of what I was explaining above. We can move. Can move. Can move. Yes, major challenges. If it was a Friday at 3 p.m. and they called the DCDO that the child has been abandoned in Chabakara, I don't know what we can do. Because all vehicles, all departments with vehicles will be rushing for the weekend. So it means that this year we ride by motorcycle to Chavakara, but may not move to Ibanda for foster assistance or to Fort Potro for illegal protection. We have the issue of recovery of the money we give to the youth and women. We have the issue of early marriages, the filement cases. I know you have been hearing the radios in RUBIRIZI cases, so I don't have to have the story for you. Can we move? Can we move, sir? Can we move? That's what we wanted, our recommendation. If you can have an allocation of some good finances under local revenue so that we can perform, because our center is small. Our center per revenue is very small and it is conditional. The elderly and because we have higher education, we have privacy. Issues of family and marriage discussion requires a high level of privacy because it is limited sometimes to age. And if somebody is at 70 now is going to share with me the family issue, and it's another person of 18, because it's an officer in my office, I don't think that something will come out. We were also something which we go to underfunded, and I move. Yeah. We have number 1 and number 3, which we feel should be taken by our partners, the government partners. I'm sorry for finance, because I believe people in finance will never grow old, and therefore they don't think about elderly. So when you are planning, you don't plan for assistive devices. I also think that people in finance will never get accidents, so you don't prepare for PWDs. And therefore, when you are planning for local revenue, these things are not cared for. But we are all growing old. At one moment, we shall need a third leg. So if we don't plan now, who will plan for us? We deserve assistive devices for PWDs and people becoming elderly. If we cannot, let the partners help us. Number 3, I believe we are the only department which believes that the mother should move with the child at the workplace. I don't know whether Harrison believes in that. Because other departments are saying that when a woman goes with the child, they reduce performance. It is a complete no. In fact, when a woman goes with the child, does better. Because when the child left home, the eye, the heart, and the brain is always at home. Think about the what? The performance must reduce. So you are saying yes, but what are the conditions if these children will come? For example, now when you go to finance, we have like 7 ladies. If by God's sake all the 7 ladies had children now, how would we enter into finance? They come with their maid. We are saying, why don't we have a child play center? The woman comes with a child, with a maid, they go somewhere, but when it comes to breastfeeding time, the child breastfeeds the what? The child in the real, because we say breastfeeding should be at least 6 what? 6 months. But the time of, you call it maternity, is 2. It means that the mother leaves the child before the time of breastfeeding. So we deserve to have a child play area. If you cannot manage it as a district, I beg, I don't want to kneel here, but I beg that the partners do what? Support us. And I would say, thank you very much.
Thank you for that brief. Dio and Mr. RDC, when you were away, there came an issue from Harris. Naenda kuchijweka baua kunkana areba ino ya shora about the tank which was destructed by an elephant. You are aware Katunguru sub county in Harris Center 3. Akar hotanka enjojo hija ya hendechsika ya za tanka ya jishenya tiba china hiyo kuyamizi. So I saw it as if it is part of insecurity. So as the head of security, maybe if who can just look here and there, because it is very terrible. Dio, proceed.
Thank you. My name is Geoffrey Tumsime. I'm presenting on behalf of the Education Department. And in the interest of time, you allow me to go direct to the presentation. Our sector composition, proceed. We have administration, we have inspectorate, We have no special needs. Games and sports is under administration. We have guidance and counseling. You can proceed. These are objectives, so you can read on your own. Now, the manpower, this is very important. What do we have? We have the approved structure. We have the district education officer, which is one, and the position is filled. We have the senior education officer, and that position is filled. We have the senior inspector of schools, and it is covered. We have inspector of schools, and there are 4, and we have them. We have sports officer. The structure, we need one, but the position is vacant. We don't have one there. Special needs officer, the structure is one, and the position is filled. Driver is there, secretary we have, office attendant we have, guidance and counseling officer we have. Go on. So we are missing only one sports officer. The rest we are covered. Now, the field staff, we have primary and secondary. We have, now, primary section, we have the 51 head teachers, the positions which are there, and they are filled. We have the deputy head teachers, and we are missing we have 46, so missing 15. We have the senior education assistants. We have 40 in the field, and we are missing 11 education assistants. We have 400, and in total, the people we have so far, we have 546. These are the staff, including head teachers, deputy head teachers. They are 546. That is secondary. Secondary, the total number we have currently, including the head teachers, we have 231 staff. Proceed. Enrollment. We have enrollment in UPE and USE. As we stand today, the total number of learners, we have in UPE and 911, that is special needs learners. We have, and the majority are at Rugazi Central Primary School. For USE, these are secondary school learners, we have 8,275, and special learners, the ones we have currently, they are 359. The total number of staff now, both in primary and secondary, we have 777 as we stand of today. Then equipment, what do we have to use in order to carry out our duties very well? We have the vehicles. We have only one which is functional. The second one is not functioning properly. Anyway, it is not there. We only have motorcycle, which is 1, and out of 10, remember, we have computers. The functional ones are only 3. The rest are not functioning well. The printers, we have 1. You can move on. We move to resource envelope. We have these, the figures, as you can see. The wage, the total wage, what we had last year was 7,614,000,000 plus, as you can see the figure. But currently now, what we are budgeting for is 8 billion. What is bringing this figure? There is an increase you can see from 7 to 8. We are going to tell you the reason why there is an increase of the wage. Then for primary, last time it was 4 billion, but now we have 4,169,000,000, then plus these figures. Secondary, they are taking 4 now billion increase from, it is an increment from 3,572,000,000. The district wage, the staff now, which is at the headquarters, we had 98 million. It has reduced to 92. The reason for the sports officer, I told you that we don't have this vacancy. His money is no longer coming. So as we stand now, we have 92 million. So we are missing money for the sports officer. Non-wage, the capitation grant, capitation grant, we had 1 billion in total, 798 million. It has increased to 2 billion, 292. But anyway, the reason for this increment, the capitation grant, the wage, we have new schools on board. We have added Chichwamba High School, we have added Rutoto Senior Secondary School on board, and we have Kabkwir Primary School, we have Busonga Primary School. So when you bring them on board, the capitation grant automatically increases and the wage automatically increases. So we have staff in those schools. That's the reason why there is an increment, especially in these figures. When you go to primary, the capitation grant has also increased because of those 2 schools that have come on board to 872 million. Secondary school, we have now 1,414,000,000 for capitation grant. Then the special needs, they have also increased a bit from 4 million something to 4 million now 589 something. You can proceed because this is what we are looking at. Yeah, let's go to achievements. What did we do, especially in the other year, not this year, 2023, 2024? Because we are in 2024, 2025. Planned outputs. The salaries we paid, both secondary and primary, and the district staff. We constructed a VIP latrine at Buzenga, Chabakara Integrated. We renovated Chikumbo Primary School, Ndangaro, and Chabakara when it comes to capital projects. Then we are constructing, anyway, we started in that very financial year a seed secondary school at Magambo Community Seed School, and it is ongoing. That was phase 1, which is still going on. Sports development, monitoring, and inspection were done, and that is 100%. The performance, special needs activities were facilitated. We have a subversion grant that goes to RUBIRIZI every year. Projects, yes, they are still the same, but you can see them properly. We have the latrines at Buzenga, Chabakara. I think you can move on. This is a repetition. Other achievements for the last 2 years, in 2022, in PLE, we were the 22nd in the whole country, and that was a very big achievement. The same year, we were the 3rd in UCE at O level in the whole country. We were ranked RUBIRIZI in UCE examinations, the 3rd. Then the construction and completion of Riel Seed Secondary School, we are going to look at the pictures. That was also done. In 2023, we won a trophy, a national trophy, under 16 primary schools. We have the national trophy here out of 170 something districts. So we have a national trophy. That is also an achievement of last year. We have 2 medals for athletics. We went to Chitugumu, and our girls brought medals, a gold and a what, and a silver. Then we sending representative in East African Games. We sent a representative in East African Games, Kahindo Amena from Chwamba, and we brought a trophy, East African trophy, and our girl was among the participants. So that was a very big achievement for us as education department. 4 schools were grant aided, that is government, Chwamba High School, Rutoto SS, Kabkwir Primary School, and Busonga Parents. So we added 4. That is an achievement of last year. 21st in PLE were ranked in the 21st position in PLE and 8th in position in UCE in the whole country. Secured the pickup double cabin from the Ministry of Education. We have a double cabin pickup that is helping us in the department. That one, we got it from the Ministry of Education, and that is an achievement. We sent 13 students on merit on government sponsorship at the university, in different public universities, on merit from RUBIRIZI. So we are sharing on a national cake. 13 of them They are on government sponsorship in different public universities. And then we have also 6 learners on quota system who are given 6 students that also were admitted on quota system. They are also in public universities, also doing different courses. Ongoing capital projects under implementation 2024. What are we doing this year? What are we doing? We are still at Magambo Community Seed School. Phase 1, we are still constructing. We are going to look at how we are. We are constructing a latrine at Katera Town School this year. We are also constructing a VIP latrine at Katanda Primary School. We are constructing also a VIP latrine at Usonga Parents and then Kaukwit Primary Schools, the 2 schools that we brought on board. This is what we are doing this year. We are also constructing a retainer hall at Riel Seed Secondary School. We are going to look at why. We are also erecting electric fence at Katunguru Seed School. And we are buying furniture for the DO's office, as the cow said, in our new office here. Yes, this is Riel School. You can proceed. This is Riel School. They were completed in 2022. Priorities, you can proceed. This is what we looked at. You can go on. Jim, proceed. There are still the priorities, monitoring and inspection. That one we did. Yes. Something you should note here is that Mugombwa Secondary School is under USEP, Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Program, and it is going to be constructed at a cost of 4.5 billion, and they are beginning Mugombwa. Then we have St. Chisto, as I've said, we are constructing it at 3.5 billion. We have fence at Katunguru Seed School. These are USA and retainer. Proceed. We go to unfunded priorities. Accommodation of teachers in schools is one thing for sure. We are going to look at some of the pictures. We don't have water in some schools, and it is very key for sure. We need it. Transport means for education department. When you looked at the equipment, we only have a double cabin and 1 motorcycle, and we have 5 inspectors, inspector of schools. Now imagine what is happening. Our inspectors normally move on a border, and sometimes on foot, which is not good. So it is really one thing. Renovation of schools. Our schools are really in bad state. Hard to reach allowances for teachers in hard to reach and hard to stay areas. We have that problem in those hard to reach areas. The cow, as he was presenting, he told you the rewards and sanction. Much as we sanction, but there are some situations where you feel these people need some extra allowance. You send someone and he refuses, and he doesn't go there. And he comes back. He says, I am leaving service. You send another person, I'm leaving service. You send another person, I'm leaving service. Now, you sanction up to when? So, we needed that thing. You will come in, don't worry. Then, guidance and counseling subsector, not funded at all. We have an officer being paid by government, but not facilitated, which is very challenges. Lack of staff houses in schools, high dropout rate, lack of transport means, we've talked about it, dilapidated infrastructures, especially government schools, lack of standard sports facility in the district. We don't have a playground at all, much as we are bringing trophies in the district, but we don't have where to play from. So that is also a challenge. Little funds are allocated to DO's office. There is little money you find, 10 million. The whole year you can imagine. You have to monitor schools, examinations, you move from Chabakara to Kashaka to where. So that money is little. What are we recommending and what are we suggesting? We are suggesting, 1, government prioritize construction of staff houses. We need these teachers really to be at the station. More lobbying and mobilization of funds is needed to renovate our schools. Need to address the challenge of transport means urgently. We need our inspectors to have motorcycles so that they are able to reach the schools and inspect them. And you can't forge these days. Because of GPS, and EMS. You have to be there, the inspector, and the Kampala people must be seeing you. So you can't forge a report. You have to be there. If you are supposed to be there at 8:30, for instance, you can't. They are seeing you, so you have to go there. We need means for our people to reach our schools. Teachers in hard to reach, we are recommending that at least the government should give them hard to stay and hard to reach allowances, so that we can motivate these guys to be there and stay there. More latrines are needed in schools. The problem of hygiene in schools is really one thing. The moment we solve that problem, I think we shall be okay. Government should allocate some funds for guidance and counseling, really, for these people to be facilitated and do their work. More funds to be allocated to DO's office, really 10 million for the whole year. It is something small. That can't make you. Let's move. We thank you, but let's look at these pictures. Now, you can see, this is Chabakara that we renovated. When we were talking of renovation, on my left-hand side, that is Chabakara. The picture was bad, so we renovated. This is now Zenga, our primary school, that really needs some renovation. Move. This is Zenga again. You can look at, wait, why are you rushing? You can look at this building. You really see that it needs renovation very fast. Otherwise, it is falling off. So this is Uzenga Primary School. Let's move. This is now Rugazi, where we constructed, because we talked of Rugazi construction of, this is a dormitory for special needs, and this is for boys. You can see it was well constructed. It's very good, and it's looking nice. Let's move. This is Real Seed School. When you look at it, behind it is a valley. So that's where you see a the moment you step there, so that's why we are putting there a retainer hole, so that it can actually protect our runners instead of getting it is a cliff actually. You can get a challenge. So this is how, yes, move, it's okay. This is real, how it looks like now after its completion. Magambo, this is where we are. Magambo Community Seed School. This is where we are. This is how far they have gone, but we are still in phase 1. I don't know whether we are behind or I don't know. No, why are you rushing? You go back a bit. This is, it's okay. This is dormitory for girls. For special needs, again, at the Rugazi Central Primary School. So the other one was for boys. This is for girls. At least it is complete, and they are staying there. Kari, you can move now. This is their latrine. This is what we constructed for them. Again, for special needs. Move. Katungu Seed School latrine. Now, this is the only latrine they have. And remember, you can see that is the lake. And it is being used by both the learners and the teachers. So you can see, they really need a latrine. They are doing badly. They just to move. This is Bosonga Parents latrine, where we want to construct, where we are constructing. They have only 2 stances. And these are learners, boys and girls, and teachers, females and males. So it's a challenge. Move. These are our runners at Usonga Parents. All of these people, they are using the other 2 stances. So that's the justification that really these people, they need a latrine. Move. This is Kagorogoro. And the only Kagorogoro, as you can see, it is as it is. They have no shutters. They don't have doors. And when it rains, our runners get challenges. So Kagorogoro Primary School. That's how it looks like. Move. This is now Rototo. Rototo Primary School, why we have brought it here, this is one of their buildings that need renovation. It is one of our best schools in the district. Actually, it is the best school. It is a government school, and it brings all the runners in grade 1. And so you see how it looks like. It is not nice for our best runners to study from this building. This is Churugu. Look at how Churugu Primary School is. So when we talked of that really the schools, their infrastructure is one thing. This is what we mean. This is a primary school, Churugu Primary School. This is how it looks like. It doesn't look nice, I think. Move. This is Rumuri latrine. Now, this one is also being shared by both learners and teachers. Now you can imagine. And you find, P7 boys, they are in adolescent stage. Sometimes they go, when they see a teacher moving they want to peep, and, it is a peeping stage. And the peeping stage is very dangerous. So we want to make sure at least they get a separate latrine. This is how it looks like. Move. This is Kanyuero, those who know Kanyuero. Kanyuero, their toilet, they recently got a challenge. And this is what they have. Move. I know it is ugly, but let's look at it. Now, this is what we renovated at Ndangaro Primary School in the last financial year. At least their structure was not doing well, but at least they have where to study from. Move. Still here, you can move. Here looks nice. This is Ndeche, our neighbor here at the main road. And this should be the image of the education department in the district, because it is at the main road. Whenever visitors come, they say, take us to schools. We want a nearby school. We should be taking them to Ndeche. But can you really look at this? This is how it looks like here at the main road. So when we say our infrastructure really is wanting, this is what we mean. Move. These are staff houses. We never wanted to name the school, to know this is a school X. But you just to know these are the staff. This is where our teachers, where they are residing. So when we say an unfunded priority is staff houses, really you can see where our teachers are. So it is a very urgent thing that we need to look at it. Move. This is Mujera, last year where we constructed, and it is complete. It looks nice. Yes, move. These are some of the houses. These are the houses of our teachers. So we should sympathize with them for sure. And it doesn't look nice. So it is really an area where we need move. Now, this is Mkonebiri. You remember that thing that went viral on TVs, Bukede, TV Westi, where this is what was trading. Every TV had this building. But move and see what we did. Move. This is what we constructed in that place. So as you can see, we really improved that caste structure that was there. This is what is in place, and now at least they are smiling. But it was not doing well. Move. Yes, that's Mkoneville. Now, these are our runners, our candidates of last year that performed excellently in PLE of Rutoto Primary School. They performed well. Move. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, members, for paying attention. I therefore call Secretary for Finance to chair the remaining session as we conclude.
Good afternoon, members. I think we are remaining with one part, the administration, finance, and statutory bodies. I'm Kaparaga Habib, Secretary of Finance. At this juncture, may I call the past present administration.
Protocol observed. My name is Baker Akampulira. I'm the head of administration department. You can proceed. Our sector mandate is to offer management support services to all sectors within the district. And our sector profile, we have administration, human resource management, records management, information and technology, and public relations. Our major goal is to offer management and support services to all sectors. And our objectives are to ensure efficient, effective service delivery to the community and the district-wide, and to ensure efficient efficient optimal utilization of resources. Next. To strengthen internal and external financial controls. To provide and improve transparency and accountability. And to improve records and information management. To create awareness on the key development issues. Next is to coordinate and monitor sector activities and to ensure effective public relations and customer care in the district. Maybe to talk about that customer care, we have what we call the client charter, and that client charter is supposed to show how we are supposed to treat our customers, our clients. People who come to the districts are our clients, and we are supposed to treat them in a particular professional way. So, next. Our manpower structure is there. The chief administrative officer is field, personal secretary, driver are all there, and administration, deputy cow is missing, pass is filled, principal HR is missing. Next. Senior assistant secretary is missing. We are supposed to have one in cow's office, and in sub-counties we are only missing one sub-county chief. Senior human resource officer is filled. Senior IT is vacant. Senior records is filled. IT officer is filled. Communications is filled. Human resource officer is vacant because the HR was promoted. Records officer is filled. And assistant records officer is filled. Next. Senior office supervisor is vacant. So you can see where you lie. Yeah? Stenographer secretary, we are supposed to have 3. We have 2, there is a gap of 1. Pool stenographer, we are supposed to have 3, we have 1, there is a gap of 2. Office typists, we are supposed to have 11, 2 are filled, and there is a vacancy. There are 9 vacancies. Parish chiefs, we are supposed to have 45, 44 are filled, there is 1 vacancy. One parish chief retired in June called Mugerwa Paul, who was at Chikumbo Parish. Office attendants, we are supposed to have 16. We have 9. There are 7 vacancies. Drivers, we are supposed to have 13, and they are all filled. In town councils, that is their structure. So we have 2 town councils. They are supposed to have 104 staff, each around 52 staff. And so far, 46. The 2 town councils have 46 staff, and there are 58 vacancies. On the vehicles and equipment, desktop computers, we are supposed to have 10, but we have 6 which are functional, and we need 4. Laptops, we are supposed to have 7, we have 6. There is a gap of 1. Official chairs are those. You can move to the next because those are some of the major achievements. Basically, the department does software work. The only hardware we have in our department is the construction of the district administration block. I do not include the picture because you are already in the block utilizing its services. So that's why I do not put the pictures of the block. But so our major achievements include paying of coordination visits, conducting coordination visits, paying salaries, construction of this administration block. Now what is ongoing is called phase 7, and next financial year we shall be maybe going to phase 8. The Board of Survey report for the last financial year was carried out. we do only one, and it is 100%. The national functions, the district chose to celebrate about 2 or 3 functions. And so far, the International Women's Day celebration was made in Chawakara. Some of you attended. The staff performance monitored, that one is done on, is a routine. Government programs monitored, those are routine. Pensions paid and all that. Proceed. Our other role is to declare vacancies and make submissions to the District Service Commission. In the previous years, some councillors were trained on what they needed to do, but this current year we haven't done that. Proceed. Procurement and all those ones, those are software. Coordination visits to central government. Maybe these are priorities for next financial year. We need 25.8 million to do coordination visits with the central government. We need 1.14 billion to pay salaries. We need, those are departmental salaries. We need 2.3 billion for paying staff for all the district, the entire district staff. We will need about 1 billion next financial year. We hope that maybe through the lobbying efforts of our chairman and COW and RDC and others, maybe the ministry will allocate us 1 billion in the next financial year to enable us to complete this block. We shall continue, we shall need 2 million shillings to declare vacancies and make submissions to the commission. We shall need around 3 million shillings to conduct a board of survey. We shall also need 3.6 million to manage our records. We shall require 1.5 million to update our district website. We shall need 4.92 million for our security guards to make sure that the district is secure. We shall need 1.5 million as a contribution on national celebrations. And also we shall transfer 276 million to lower local governments. Unfunded priorities are procurement of modern furniture for the office of COW and Deputy COW in the new administration block, which is estimated to cost around 40 million. Construction of the office block phase 8, 1 billion, I had already, talked about it. Procurement of a double cabin pickup for COW's office, 200 million. I thank you very much for this. We have some major challenges. One, enforcement to realize assessed local revenues under IRAS. You recall that the government introduced the integrated revenue administration system as one of the most effective ways of mobilizing revenue, local revenue. What has been happening, you find that the parish chiefs and sub-accountants go to the field, they make assessments, they assess like 5 million, they go back and are able to collect like 2 million or 1.5. So there is a need for enforcement to collect and realize 100% of what is assessed. Number two, limited office space in the dilapidated office structures. Members, you realize the COW's office, the administration block where we are down there, we are congested and the structures are dilapidated. And that's why we need to expedite construction of this block to be able to move from the dilapidated structures to this state-of-the-art building. Number three is inadequate wage bill to cater for the entire staff structure. We don't have enough wage to cater for the structure in post and those ones we have not recruited. Inadequate office equipment and vehicles. So far, I can say we have like only 3 functional vehicles. As a fair condition. The one of COW, the one of DHO, and the one of production. Other vehicles are really not sound. inadequate office high cost of fuel and power hindering service delivery, and low motivation, remuneration, and inspiration of employees, especially in the non-science category. The scientists, you will forgive me, but your counterparts in the non-science science category are demotivated. And the government needs to think about them and enhance their salaries. Inadequate unconditional grant to support the district in the implementation of activities. Understaffing, especially in the health and education sector. You saw the DHO saying staffing level is around 34 or 30-something%. You can imagine the health sector in charge of our lives, grossly understaffed to around 34-35%. This is a serious matter, and we hope that the wage will be availed to recruit more people in the health sector. Low attraction and retention of staff in the hard-to-reach areas of the district. When the DEO was presenting here through the senior education officer, he said some schools are hard to reach, and indeed they are. You post their teachers, they are not willing to go there and serve because of the circumstances and the conditions, the harsh conditions in those areas. Next. So we are recommending the need to intensify enforcement in revenue collection, lobbying for more funds from the central government and donor agencies. We want to appreciate our development partners. Your financing, your projects help us to complement government efforts. So for that, we are eternally grateful. And motivation of staff to reduce on the staff turnover. In recent years, we have seen a very big number of primary school teachers applying for early retirement. Mr. Cow normally gives them 1 month to go back and reflect on their decision. And we see them applying to retire early. Some of them are 50, 45, 46, 50. They are tired. They want to go home. Why? Maybe because of some of the challenges of wage and others that I talked about, and motivation. Motivation would also imply the staff accommodation that the DEO has showed you, the dilapidated nature of the staff accommodation. If a teacher is sleeping in the other house you've seen, that teacher is not motivated to work. Next is improve infrastructure and creating better working environment in hard-to-reach areas. The other one is acquisition of office equipment to improve efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery. Acquisition of vehicles to ease coordination and monitoring of government projects and programs. Next. Recruitment of staff in critical positions in all departments. The district does not have a district engineer. Previously, we advertised like 3 or 4 times, and we could not attract a district engineer at the level of U1. You get that? So there are some staff. The DHO is going to retire next year. I hope we shall be able to attract the DHO, somebody qualified to be DHO. Because such kinds of caliber of staff, it is not easy to attract them. Exchange visits for benchmarking purposes. We have carried out some. I want to thank you, Mr. Cow, for supporting us to go and benchmark. Retreats and refresher courses for mindset change. Those ones are also needed. I heard the community development officer talking about mindset change. We also need our staff to be trained on mindset change. As we train the citizens on mindset change under PDM, we also need to train ourselves on mindset change. Salary enhancement for other categories of staff who are non-science. So members, that's the presentation of the administration department. I want to thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Kaf, for your elaborate explanation. At this time, I invite the CFO to present Finance, Audit and Planning. Chief Finance Officer.
Thank you, Session Chair. I am not the CFO, but I am the accountant, and I'm here for the CFO. So we shall have a presentation from Finance. Our sector mandate is to mobilize, allocate revenue to sectors, control utilization and management of resources, strengthen efficiency and effectiveness in planning, accountability, coordination of resources, and strengthening information management, monitoring, and evaluation of district projects and programs. Our sector composition and profile, we have administration, we have budgeting, we have revenue, expenditure management, accounting services, and integration financial management system. Sector objectives: to mobilize and correct revenue and ensure fair allocation and accountability. To enhance capacities of technical staff in preparing realistic work plans and budgets using PBS. To plan, monitor, evaluate, and coordinate projects and programs. Reports and accountabilities for performance comparison.
Excuse me, members don't have handouts.
Yes.
What's the problem? Finance?
We shall use the projected presentation.
They need handouts. I don't know what has happened. We continue. Okay.
And this is the manpower structure in the finance sector. The chief finance officer is field, principal accountant, senior accountant is in post, senior finance officer is in post, accountant and finance officers are in post, senior accounts assistants are in post, office typist, that is vacant, office attendant, vacant, driver, vacant. And there is our budget performance for the last financial year. The first, it shows what we budgeted, what we received, and how it was spent. So you can see we budgeted, as per the revised, we had 30 billion 191 million 159 112 shillings. Actual performance, what we realized was 28 billion, and the other side is the variance. And below is expenditure by nature, and you can see that most of our expenditure goes to employee compensation of employees of approximately 17 billion, which is approximately more than half of our total budget and of our total receipt. And This table shows our local revenue performance for the last financial year. The first column shows the performance of our local revenue for the year ended June 2023, and this other one shows last financial year for year ended June 24. And from the collections, we are able to collect 383 million 232,561 against the budget of 409 for 47,000 shillings. And this other table shows how different entities performed with their local revenue collections. Rototo had a budget of 12 million, has a budget of 12 million currently, and so far as per end of quarter one, they have collected 3 million. Churugu has a budget of 32 million, End of quarter one, they have collected 8 million. Magambo has a budget of 4 million, and as end of September, they have collected 1 million. The other sub-county has a budget of 8,500,000. They have so far collected 2 million. Katunguru has a budget of 60 million, and they have collected so far 15 million. Kichwamba has a budget of 35. They have collected 8. Katerera sub-county 17. They have collected 4. Katanda has a budget of 12. They have so far collected 3. Chawakala has a budget of 20. They have collected 5 million. Rubirizi Town Council has a budget of 95 million. So far collected 23 million. Katerera Town Council has a budget of 78 million. They have so far collected 19 million. And the collections at the district headquarters, the budget is 46 million. We have so far collected 11 million. I'm sorry, I was reading the quarterly, what is supposed to be realized per quarter. And the other column is done for what the actual collections. So the actual collection as end of quarter one, the district has collected 132 million, 321, 76,000 shillings. That is since the district was enrolled on IRAS in July. So these are some of the work plans that we hope to do in the next financial year, 2025-2026. We shall pay salaries, among others, procure stationery and computer IT supplies, monitor and supervise. So most of these things are software activities, and our main key output is mostly on local revenue collection. And we have projected to collect local revenue for the next financial year as displayed. Katerera County has projected to collect 14 million. Katanda sub-county is projected to collect 16 million. Rutoto sub-county is projected to collect 17 million. Deer sub-county 12 million. Chawakala 12 million. Kichwamba 52 million. Churugu 31. Magambo 10 million. Katunguru 66 million. Katerera 100 million. The district collections 48 million. Rubirizi Town Council 105. The total projected local revenue collection is 488 million. 78,066 shillings. So some of the sector challenges low. Sector challenges, we have a low local revenue base. Local revenue is still small. Like we have reported, we collected only 383 million, which is still not adequate enough for our entire activities. We have a poor internet coverage in the district. We need internet to help us in the generation of payment reference numbers with the IRAS. We have then inadequate funds to the sector to implement its activities. We have insufficient and unreliable data from taxpayers for sound decision making. However, we are in the process of making a revenue data bank. I hope when this is achieved, we shall have adequate data for information for decision making. Then we also have a challenge of political interference. Some political leaders do not align with some of our strategies, mostly in local revenue collection. So, and then the lack of a vehicle for supervision and monitoring of the local governments. The department only operates on one motorcycle for the revenue subsector, and that motorcycle is not enough for the entire activities of the department. And then we suggest some of the strategies to increase our local revenue. We should look at intensifying local revenue supervision. And then there are some officers who do not, some tax collection officers who do not carry out assessments, and they hide, such as this, they pick this money and put it in their pockets. We shall look at penalizing officers who do not tax, and if they do not assess taxpayers, they will not remit this collection. Searching on the new sources for council approval. Local revenue collection to be an all-inclusive duty for all departments and all staff, not only looking at the revenue department or the finance sector to collect revenue. We look at fisheries officers to research on lakes and restock them. Some of our lakes, like the production department have put it, there is doing overfishing, no more fish is in the lakes. So if the fisheries officers can restock, we can get collection from the landing sites. Strengthen and equip the revenue sector by increasing facilitation. Then with the district being enrolled on IRAS since July, we hope this system will help us increase our local revenue collection from maybe last year's 386 to maybe we hit the budget maybe that we can hit the budget more than by 100%. And then also another strategy is we shall emphasize adherence to the charging policy and the revenue enhancement plan. These policies, these documents are in place, but we do not look at them when we are carrying out our activities. So we want to increase adherence to such policies, and then continuous mentorship of sub-county staff on accounting, reporting, and budgeting issues to equip them with knowledge in the new financial reform. Some of the sector funding gaps, the sector, like we said, operates on one motorcycle. We would wish to purchase a departmental vehicle and maybe more motorcycle to increase supervision. Conducting surveys, market surveys to collect more data on other sources of local revenue. We need to purchase more departmental furniture. The department operates with inadequate furniture, and the staff in post do not have where to sit. And we also need to purchase more computers for the department. Maybe something that I missed to include, I don't see in my slides here. One of the achievements in the finance, we increased local revenue from 253 million in the financial year ended June 2020 to 383 million in the financial year ended June 2024. This was a significant increase of about 151%. So I think the revenue department put in more effort, and we increased, though we still did not meet our budget. And still, the other achievement is the collection of 383 million against the budget of 409. This was a big achievement. This was some, not big, but some achievement for the revenue subsection. I think with those, I thank you for listening. I remain Baguma Jim, the district accountant.
Thank you, Jim, for your presentation on finance department. And I take the honor to thank all those members who are presented with the statutory bodies, they are not ready to present. So, MC, you can take over the floor, because now we are going in discussions. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me more of your time so that we complete only one thing. A few concerns that you could have registered, biche ninga binje mwabasa kuhandikaho, you raise them, abichukwata ho babagambeho, kuturaheze, then we get one speech to end our function, tuzaharanchi, tukta. I request the Honorable Speaker to take back your seat so that you lead us into the discussion session as we are ending our function. Nimanya shugare voze za chenderamu konka nutuza kumaraho. Deka tuhendere lero tuhezororo nako. I think you've been noting down so that we shall quickly go through that and we see ourselves off. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think you have the microphone with you. Concerns to the heads of departments, we respond, and then we get the closing remarks, we end the program. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, MC. We are going to have questions in these discussions, and I beg that you also present your recommendations all the way forward. How do you see our district should move? On this note, I want to thank, let me see the chairperson LC3s. The chairperson LC3s, where you are? Very good, at least I have seen 3. How about sub-county chiefs? Sub-county chiefs, at least, thank you. Okay, we begin with chairperson. Give him a mic.
Thank you. First, I want to thank everyone who made a contribution to making this day a success. I have like 3 inquiries. One goes to the DHO. In his remarks, or in his time, he said that he will construct a toilet at Mobanda Health Center 2. In the sub-county, we have 2 health centers. One is at Mushumba, that's Health Center 2. Another one in Mobanda, that is Health Center 3. So, and he wrote Mobanda Health Center 2. So, is that health center going to Mushumba, or because this is the one that is Health Center 2? I want him to clarify. Secondly, I have seen goes to the DEO. I have seen there is a plan for Kabukwiri Primary School where it has been taken by government. Its wage is already on the system, but do not have teachers. So when are we having teachers in Kabukwiri Primary School? Since their wage is already on the system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. From the challenges seen and identified, we would want you also to see what do you prioritize or what do you recommend after looking at a challenge. What do you think should be done to have a better district? Thank you. Yes, Honorable Chab.
Thank you, Chair. My concern is on works. The engineer has clarified to us some roads that they are going to maintain and gravel. So my concern is there is a road from Buzenga through Nyangorogoro connecting that one going to Katera. So I wanted to know when this road will be put into plan. Mr. Chair, Another concern is on finance. Because I really doubt if our revenue will increase. Because if the whole finance cannot present or give us handouts here as members of this house, how do you imagine that they have a plan of planning for our district to increase the revenue? And this is not the first time, Mr. Chair. If members remember, the last session we had at Rogazi, the very office did what it has done today. So, Mr. Chair, I would request that the cow thinks and looks into that office and see what to do. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there are some issues with this office. I would beg twena niteekateka twine ebibuuzo ebitwija kwenda kugira ngu tubuuze kandi tukyenge mbwenu rufuri kukozesa orurimi rwena rw'okwenda yaba runyankore yaba rukiga konka kureebeka ng'ekibuuzo kyawe kyabuuzibwa kandi kyayetegerezibwa. Reka twakire Honorable Emmanuel Tushabe, District Councillor.
Thank you, Chair. My concern goes to LSA. I had earlier submitted the concern of Chenzaza Health Center 3 in Chirugu sub-county of not having enough accommodation for the health workers. So when I tried to check in DHO's recommendations and the priorities for the financial year 2025-26 you have listed, it is inclusive. So mine was also a reminder, as he had put it in the plan, that plan to have the 2 staff houses for Mubanda and Munyonyi, let changes also be inclusive. I was of the structures, this one goes to education. On the structures indicated for Chirugu Primary School, you have seen the classes. They have no door, they have no windows. But another challenge is on toilets. The number of pupils has increased, and the toilets is a problem. So to the DEO, he had escaped in recommendation, that one he had escaped it, he had put there that more robbing for construction of toilets and the classrooms. The situation there is worse. Then too, it goes classroom blocks. The number of Chizogombe pupils has increased together with Kafro Primary School. Some are sharing classes. When it rains, people who are under the tree may share the class, others face this side and others face another side. So it is also a challenge that in robbing, since the DEO has escaped it and put it in the robbings for more construction of classrooms, so Kafuru Primary School and the Chizogombe, next time should be the first priority. I submit.
Give the mic to that chairperson from. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mine goes to the health sector. I need some clarification from the DHO about the total SDA health center, because we hear that the government is putting some effort in that health center, but when our community goes there for service, they complain about the charges. How is it? Total SDA health center, if the government is putting some effort, how are our people supposed to be helped in terms of charges? Thank you very much.
I'm going to only receive one hand. Then after, I will call for DHO, the district engineer, the finance, the DEO, to give that person the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm called RUBIRIZI Sam, not that person. I work with Hope for Mothers and Children Agency, one of the local partners that are never mentioned in such forums. I have a few issues that I want to put across. One goes to Works, Water Department. There are some villages that are totally water stress. Take an example of Berehetu. I think that is in the Rutoto sub-county. The only source of water is Lake Kako, which is also located in a very terrible terrain. It is very deep. And this problem has got diverse effects, especially on learners. There is high dropout for the learners who go to school. And the other activities are also slowed down because of the time and the distance the community is taking to access water for domestic use. Second, I want to talk about climate change, which should be a cross-cutting issue in all sectors. We need to do disaster management planning and financing. We need to come out with the mitigation measures, preparedness, response, and recovery. Those are key issues that we should be considering, especially in activities like this. Then I've had a few of the research. How do we measure that our district has performed to this level? Lastly, this one goes to education. We need also to think about raising awareness, mobilizing and raising awareness on the responsibilities of parents towards educating their children. We note that there is very high dropout, which is caused by parents' reluctance and sometimes lack of attention to educate their learners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sam. At least some have tried to give us recommendations on how to go about these challenges. Give the mic to DHO to react on the challenges that were mentioned as we move on.
Thank you, Chair of the session. I want to respond to the issues that were raised. One is a pit latrine at Mbanda Health Center. 2, I think that goes without saying. The word Mubanda is explanatory enough, only that the center 2 missed the 1. At least in Rieru, I know only 1 Mubanda Health Center. They are not 2. And the word was Mubanda. Thank you. Chenzaza Health Center 3 has inadequate staff accommodation. To the best of my knowledge, it has 2 buildings accommodating 2 staff each, better than the Mubanda Health Center 3, which has only 1. If priority was to be taken, and I had enough resources, I would not think of Chenzaza. I would still think of Mubanda, where there is only 1, and the other one has 2. But unfortunately, as I had explained earlier, the resource is too small. Because we are completing the uncompleted business in Munyonyi and the Mubanda Health Center 3 staff houses. The works were scoped because of inadequate resources. But it's useless to leave it and start a new thing when the other one is going to collapse on us. The case with education. You saw the dilapidated structures because of non-completion of the structures. And we want to mitigate against this. We better bite what we can chew other than thinking we are going to satisfy everyone in the same, or killing too many birds with one stone. Rutoto SDA is a private, not-for-profit health facility. The charges are determined by the proprietors and people like you, the chairman LSO3, who is a stakeholder there. So for me to explain why, it becomes rather difficult, because I know giving a health service is one of the most expensive things on this planet Earth. Health service delivery is very expensive, especially today when the government has raised salaries for their counterparts of health workers. The private sector has to compete favorably to retain those staffs. And in so doing, they need to get substantial income to sustain the staff. However, you and I, Honorable Chairman of Rutoto, we have also a role to sensitize the population. There is Ndangaro being underutilized. It is free of charge, fully furnished with the staff and equipment. But people prefer to come where? To Rutoto, where there is paying. Let us tell the people to choose or to chew what they can afford to buy it. Because the choice is an individual's choice where to seek treatment. If you decide to go to a private facility, then prepare yourself to pay. If there was no health facility, we would work together and see how to regulate the prices. But amidst the challenges that there lies, procurement of drugs, payment of staff, maintaining the facility, Rutoto is still cheap to afford. But if I know I don't have the money to pay, there is an alternative in Ndangaro, there is an alternative in Mshumba, there is an alternative in Mubanda. So there is a variety of choices the people can make. It is you and I to sensitize them to make choices. Hope for Mothers, an organization that has never been mentioned in such a forum. Although it is not my question to tackle, but I was touched. It could be there, but I want to ask, with whom do you work? Where do you report? What outputs have you put so that you praised? And probably we shall mention you when you put that to the open. Thank you.
Thank you, DHO. I think at least we have moved on a very good pace. Take the mic to the district engineer. Have heard someone mentioning about the road in Uzenga. You respond.
Thank you, Speaker. The Honorable Councillor from Magambo inquired to know about the maintenance plan for this road from Uzenga via Nyangorogoro to Katerera. I hope, Honorable Councillor, you're aware that this is a community access road which was opened by CAIP sometime back, around 2015, 2014. And these roads are under the maintenance of the sub-counties. It's the one which is mandated to maintain these roads. Though, at some point in time, as a district, we came in, we gave a hand and shaped that road. During our recent road assessment and condition surveys, we really captured that road as one of the roads which is in a very bad state. We really acknowledge that. However, going forward, I'll liaise with the sub-county chief to make sure that we plan for that road using our road maintenance funds at the sub-county. If they are unable, then as a district we shall come in and see how we can help on that road. But we acknowledge that it is in a bad state. I thank you.
Thank you. It has been a very good response from the district engineer. However, henechibuze chibabuze chachiri omusecretary ya finance konkana ntenzire ngusha hezi chikwateho. You know, it dates back right away from the report that we got from Rugazi. So nanishaba omukuru kawo kugira ngo je ki respondingeho abo kuba noreba necyabure na hakiri hagarukaho ikiteganisa district so noje ki respondingaho ntwara kazindarako okampero wa education atugambira ha prioritization ya classrooms zinahurira za chizo gombe na hande nkoko.
Thank you so much. The presentation was showing a sample of them. There are many, many classrooms that are in a sorry state, beyond even what we have seen. For example, if you have been at Kafuro Primary School, there is a classroom that is about to collapse on the learners that needs urgent attention. If you move and go to Kasioha Primary School, actually this week I was moving out of the head teacher's office. The door hit me on the head. A man like me or cow cannot pass there unless you do this. When you don't walk like this in Kasioha, you will not enter the headmaster's office, and the classroom is built of mud and bricks, and all of it is about to collapse. Are we together? So, tentatively, without wasting time, you will appreciate that our infrastructure is in a sorry state. Only that we did not mention, we call upon the development partners. We show all these so that if they are men of goodwill, for example, Chagline Coffee Factory built us a wonderful 2-class room block at Katerina Town School. And they are going ahead to renovate another. Are we together? In Lieru, Rujenda, the Muslim community have renovated all the classrooms. They built a teacher's house and they're renovating another. So to cut a long story short, the question of when the construction at Chirugu Primary School, I would say, is an isolated case among many others. As the process of budgeting continues, we are going to reassess. And if it falls in those schools that have high enrollment means high risk and less facilities, then we can pick it. But if there are other schools that have high enrollment with less facilities, then we pick on those with high enrollment and less facilities, because if like cholera breaks out in a school like Buhinda Primary School where there are 1,400 learners, you risk losing over 500 in a short time than a school that has like 200. So our attention would be redirected to where there is high enrollment. Someone asked about Kabkwiri recruitment. Recruitment is, people mistake it. The PS gives instructions for recruitment in the case of a secondary school. And in a decentralized district, it is the cow to direct the recruitment. So we are waiting for cow. He's already in the process of recruiting. What I hate is people want to force their agendas on legal offices that have powers to do certain things. Mr. Cow, I want to respect and request that I know people are coming to you to force you the impossible, but the ideal is that Cow is given wage, and when he's given wage, he does what we call inclusive. He advertises and recruits. Unlike secondary, the PS isolates other districts. Now, they feel that in the district, the Cow has the powers to recruit and post. There have been negotiations of people who are at station. That is something very different, unless it does not attract IGG to come here.
But here I was signing given the claims to make sure we get some money paid. And you know, finance, Minister of Finance, you people who doesn't know, Minister of Finance pays only and only every Thursday. When you miss to input a claim in the system by Thursday, you will wait for another Thursday. Those are the issues some of us would do not imagine it do happen, but they happen like that. Unless you've inputted your claims and all the processes into the system by Thursday, you will not be paid. That's why my CFO is up and down. But Jim would have been the one to do that. No excuse that you have not photocopied. You have seen Bill. Bill was moving up and down. Bill was more or less in the similar situation. He moved out with his senior, and I don't know where they photocopied from. On their own cost. So Jim and your team, you've not helped us today, but nevertheless, you had the presentation. Performance, somebody asked on a district performance, whether it is true we do perform. Yeah, on the national assessment, you know, national assessment covers all the 135 districts plus 10 cities plus 37 municipalities. So we are 175 upper local governments, higher local governments. So RUBIRIZI was number what? 28, eh? Was it? We are number 28 in the national assessment. So my brother, that's much as we are not number 10, number 1, or between 10 and 1, but at least 28th position was also some good enough. But nevertheless, this time around, we must be below that. We had given ourselves the target to be below among the first 10. If all goes well, we shall be there. Otherwise, yeah, those were my issues. You mentioned something?
No, it was about that. It was about finance.
Oh, something. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Otherwise, I can see we have overstayed here. Sugar levels. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to give you another phase of concerns as we near to conclude. I know it will not be lengthy, but if we don't give you this chance. Okay. Honorable Kahirwa.
Thank you. My concern goes to Works Department as far as grading and shaping of Kafuro and Katonya concerned. That road was stopped to Katonya, and of yet it was supposed to continue Omuchidani, Mbuga, finally Kachu. So I wanted to know, what plan are you having from Katonya, Omuchidani, and Kachu? Because that area is impassable. Secondly, you have talked to district roads from Kentonga, Kagorogoro, Nyandong. Then what about Omukabagore to Nyandong? I sent you.
Thank you. Mark that.
Thank you, sir, Chair. I have two concerns. My first concern goes to Roads Department, and I'm concerned of Nyakasharu, Katanda, Katera Road. It was not completed, and it was still being worked upon. So I'm asking, what plan do you have for this road? My second concern goes to water department. I haven't seen Nyangorogoro water scheme, which was intended to cover 4 parishes, and it was not included in proposed projects of coming financial year. So I need the plan of Nyangorogoro water scheme. My third concern goes to DPO department. I wanted to know, apart from giving monitoring and trainings to fish farmers, what is any other support you are giving to our fish farmers, since they are facing many problems, like animals enter into their ponds and destroy their fingerlings. They lack food for their fish. They lack security, light, fences, and others. I thank you.
Thank you. Take the mic to Kaparaga. Kaparaga is here. Kaparaga is here. Sorry. This honorable in front.
Thank you, Session Chair. My name is Engineer Triashe Merogwadani Kasaza. I am the District Councillor representing Rutoto Sub-County, and I'm the Chairperson Finance, Works, and Water. My first point goes to Works, and my appeal is that the members should support me, and we recommend that the district takes over the road from the Catholic Church to Cheya as a strategic road. As you have seen the accident that happened in recently, where a tanker burnt and corroded the road. If there is anything that happens along Nkombe, Diemondo main road, we shall always get stuck. I have always told you that that is a strategic road and should be taken over by the district as a bypass to avoid the accidents which happen on that road. Recently, there is a truck which almost crashed into Kayemba's house. Secondly, on Works, I wanted to inquire from the engineer what happened to the Kayip Roads project. Another point I have, Mr. Chairperson, my committee organized for a trip to a district called Isinjiro to benchmark how they collect revenue. We discovered that most districts currently, they tax land. We recommended it in our committee. The council passed it. I wanted to know from the CFO, the CAO, how far the land agreements are being implemented to bolster local revenue collection. Another point I have is about national water. In Rutoto, we have the extended national water, but it is covering a small area. I would recommend that they increase on the average of public tanks in the trading center of Rutoto. Currently, there is a dead Naikondo, but I think they are going to work on it. But I think National Water constructed a reservoir to supply Rutoto. But the people who have been supplied are very few. So I don't know whether the amount of money that was used to carry out the extension is concomitant with the service they are giving to us.
Thank you, Dan Kasaza. Please, let's give some other people a chance as we conclude.
So that tuhendera, but one of you actually yijaha tikumanyisa ngo buri kintu cyona tukitamuzindaro no basa kumpandikira ondebe kiriho. For example, chairman wa rero yambuza nko kashika ukatwagire hamwe niwe ka photopotro bakutwe sente zawa bakatwana dame cheki ngwe sente zo zibahi mukani bagira ngo zitura district ngo ni mwoza muniko yambuza ntireba mukama wa government reba na RDC ryaha tijo nkakita no mu security committee. colleagues, LC3 chairpersons and sub-county chiefs, be informed that up to today, now, we have not received that money that we were given them a check by UWA. But last week we had a security committee. I even brought that matter to the attention of security committee, but we advised let's wait until money is released to our account, then we shall immediately release it to you people. So mukakanisa abantu banyu bamanyise ngwe sente tukazitungire kandi ahizirijire RDC nakimanya nituza kuzibohereza immediately. Question ndije ambuzi bwane hino anabuza Rand agreement hate bimwe manye bimwe tukubitaha munonga konka turiyo progressing very well kandi turiyo tukora another benchmarking muzibanda ati tujyo mbwire bwa politics ibintu biro bukija kikaza mu politics munonga abantu ba social media yagezo kwenda kututera, but we are progressing on very well. So mukakane with time esete tizahwayo nayo no turi batwena takiriho twena abantu nibija kushoroza emishoro kandi emishoro neza kuyamba district cyaha muheru no kubasima no kugira ngo sinyowe ni shaba cha person tuhe mukama wo kwendera mukorogu tuze kutunga cyamushana.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, the chair, both political and technical protocol observed. I think I welcome all of you for this spending plan based on income and expenditure. You have talked a lot. You just I trust my voice for the work done, and through all those challenges, basing all from what you have mentioned here, at least we have managed to achieve what has been achieved. So thank you very much. Usually I don't like appreciating what you know it, but today I must appreciate, because the distance we have moved together by the time I was appointed here, that since 2022 up to date, I think there is a great improvement when we are talking about service delivery. And but though I have appreciated, we have some challenges, Bwana Kao. What you have mentioned here, sometimes abachiga bagira ngo nikirungi kuranze nyuma. You know where we have come from as a government. Even you are RUBIRIZI district. We still have challenges. They are there. You have been talking about poor construction, those roads, ABCD. But at least if you can move outside this RUBIRIZI, there is something done, great done for sure within this district. For example, in terms of service delivery, currently we are remaining with only one sub-county without a government secondary school. I think that is Katanda. At Twinene to Bonjera. And for the case of health centers, though we still have challenges, but at least many of them have been elevated from health center 2 to health center 3. Even I think was it the day after yesterday we commissioned Monjera health center 3. So government, as a government, we have tried our best. Now for the case of roads, yeah, we still have challenges. But I must appreciate also work done by the engineer. By the time I came, we used it to clash. But these days, at least, Bruce, you have done something. Konka tichikumanyisa ngu show the work at ziriyo. Except that show the worker there is manageable. Nkarabira kozire kubika rivatsa ho mukeyaha. Konka tichirungi ko kumugambira yiruke chishobira chishobora. So that's why I have appreciated the work done by the works. Except in the Department of Education, we still have a challenge. Mostly how you deploy your teachers, your staff. It is very common in primary schools. I have asked very many times a list of primary schools government per sub-county we have in the district of Ganakao, Kunkaria Diongu, Abutiba Kazimpa. But in Barechiri, I have used my intelligence and I'm going to get the number of schools. Aboka bakamanyangu ninyenda kuzayo so tibakwenda ngo ndebe bigizire bita ebiri. Dea ngugwe biru. Ijonka mu Buganda hari ko ta comparison reka njirete nezishati nkamubonaga. So that is their methodology of work. But I don't mind, we shall move together. Deployment, how you deploy teachers, Bwanakao, we have been having a challenge of Chisenyi, the Kashaka, and then now we have a challenge of, is called Makanga. Do we have a school called Makanga? Makanga Primary School in Chabakara. Makanga Primary School in Chabakara, there is a teacher called Tuhise Crispus. Is not there. Moshabe Anna is not there. I heard is in Rumuri. Then Tingebga Justus asked for a leave. But is not in the school. A school which is supposed to have 10 teachers, now they are only 7. Then you ask yourself, why? You have DO, you have assistant senior, you have inspectors of schools in Rubirizi, we have about 5. But all those loopholes are there. So that's what I wanted to discover. And when I asked them that list, they refused to produce it. But I'm the head of security at the same time. I'm the senior intelligence officer. I cannot fail to get what I want. Ninza kujitunga ninza yo. So mukozire ya, you have tried your best. But mostly in some departments, there are those loopholes. And I don't know why Kao, I don't know. For us in security, when you are disorganized, there is no need of wasting time. Abwachino jema bantu emirimu. Namazima nanye hinaho kuzandeba some of the promises nanye mpurira nakwatonja nti we still have a long journey. Konka we have tried our best. Classroom zini tuzireba ziri kubi twinene tugezaho kandi nimureba ngo at least every year there is accountability. Every year there is accountability. Either we have renovated some or we have constructed new classrooms. We are together. So we must use what we have. Abukati tukuza kweshara. Hanu yakuba bimusya oru counselors kuri twabaha time bugiomwe yanayerwana humugomborraye orugudo ruri ishomero riri what then all of them are there, but then we must utilize basing on the amount we have received from the center. That's why today twakore tukweta budgeting. We are planning, but we plan basing on what we have received from the center. Tikwa sebo konka nimba sima umushomesa bayerekaho amakanga nanye kunareba staff ziriya azamaramani konko bunizi nizo ziriho bakutaye nko mushomesa notekwa kuzikozesa abo kuba nizo zikozereki nizo ziriho. Recently I visited my counterpart in Bunyangabo. RDC has no office umurimo abaragire Bunyangabo ayina kantu ninka kayungu kati is representing the head of state konka niko kagizirekata nenkoko nerugo mwihuri mwine munyategereza. So tichikumanyisa ngo we cannot deliver ninga nituza kuba failures ahabwo kuba ebimwe bituri kwende birungi tibikozereki tibiriho imwe mukarugo munda yabanyoko mujya bashija n'abakazi okumuri kwingana ninga murabire through stages mwakura mwaba bashija. So anybody who cannot fit into our settings bwanakao, you should take action. noho to mushomesa transfer ngu you are transferred to a certain school rero wakagamba ngu nyowe tindi kuzayo. Who are you? Government ne yasho ne yanyokeje tori kuzayo, tori kuzayo. Ijaha kumwabiye ni mukozesa interviews. How many teachers sat for interviews? Mukani mwenda nka mwenda ni 10 konkankare mukamara wiki yona abashomesa bijwiri then owuwihamu wa mudiployinga ngo nyowe ketindi kuzayo hachi imwe mugasho gwanyu ndichi bwana kawo. Are you fully in charge of this district? No niba deploying omuntu kuza kukora yange kuzayo. I wish bampindure banyu mu bwa RDC bantu mu bwa kawo nkuteyo oyange kuzayo. Who are you? Bwana kawo, are you fully in charge of this district? No, it is there. This Makanga. You check Makanga Primary School. They are there.
Makanga, this morning there was a teacher in my office who has requested transfer services to Sheni. I don't recall the name. But that doesn't mean that a teacher of Makanga shouldn't be at school. That is now a duty of UDO and your inspector.
They are 3.
Can I get the report by Monday about Makanga Primary School?
So those weaknesses, those loopholes, they are manageable. Konka biru, can you clean your house? Can you clean your house? Nukuzomu matai konka bakajwara makoti. You people, sometimes for me, my work here, the reason why President brought me here is to monitor government programs. I'm not in love with anybody when I'm doing my work, and that is my responsibility. So education, for the case of Heres, by the way, in Heres there is a great improvement. Omubyamagara, some of the nurses bachari muhina bachari muninza yumba ronda babura, but at least now, at least I have been monitoring. My office has been on the ground. The assistant RDC is my deputy, but the report I have on my table, at least tina manyisangu tibiriyo, but at least it is not like 2022, 2023. There is a great improvement. So how you deploy your teachers. In those schools, teachers are not there. You just go check on the roster, you call it roster. You will see a number of teachers. When you go to classrooms, teachers are not there. So what is that? So I'm requesting also political leaders who are here, try to help us, please. You counselors. That is your responsibility. Sometimes try to visit those schools and health centers in your areas of jurisdiction, and you give me a report. Chairman LC3. In case there is something what you are mushumba or everywhere, you tell me. Sorry. Usually I share with my brother Town Council. Town Council where you know Rugambo, yareba yakantu nija kantu mukutu. Lirunyunje ndankora umurimo gwanje. Titkozire bintu ontebwa bakakudi campaigning bakakwima karura. Otherwise I wouldn't like to talk much. For the case of Emyoga Bwanakao, I think we have already discussed that with the focal person who is our commercial officer. Emyoga tell you. In the number we have 36. But in existence they are not above 5. Now they have started conniving with microfinance recently. The Katerera local leaders and the border borders. We had a meeting with Emyoga. I said, for the case of RUBIRIZI, let us first go on the ground and we see which circles are still there. We agreed. Konkati ni baraboka hansi, ndeba message neijangu baba hasenti. Border bajireyo, alinkai commercial officer, where is he? Na wakaza Katerera yajironda yaburati bajihire senti. Mbaburiza ba Kampala mujihire muta. When I'm talking like that, tichikujangu ni manyisa ngutinkwenda ngo abantu bitu batunge sente. Kashiya batazitungire zenkai. Konke sente zize gukora umurimo gushemekwa nizijazita. Yabo saka iriho bagiye sente. Yagwire at least tujimuse. Turonde new members, then they receive money. mwine munyategereza. So political leaders at sub-county levels, please, you try to help us also. Chairperson 063s, district councillors, emyuga yabere y'umumpe yo kananga. Onke kizibu nshangira bamwe nimwe muri ba memba beriye yagwiri. So you will find your party, which means you will, I'm not expecting a lot from you, Deputy Speaker. You know whether you are part of it as usual. So echecho kanchi marira. Na nyenjara yanyita reka ndeke kugamba bingi. But all in all, obwe n'oburabe burimu, you have done a great job. And some loopholes are on the side of us as government. Then others, na nyamwanchika heru no kugira ngo njyo mukama president yanagamba ati muyi kuza kuhakanisa n'ibindi. Konka na nyamwanchika hari ine bimu kubasa kumbunana na biru nabasa kugira ati bitiwe kawamegaha ati kandeki. So but tinkwendecho when I'm here, I'm representing head of state and the president wa Rubirizi. And the president wa Rubirizi. Otherwise, mwena nimbasima, all the heads of departments, we have worked together. And at least in the district, there is accountability. We have been receiving visitors, our officials from the center. For example, like PDM, I think, I don't know, our commercial officer has done a great, I don't know how I can describe it. And it is true at this time, Rubirizi district is leading in Western Uganda. We are number 1 from yesterday. So, echo nacho ninchibasime. Performance ya mashomero biru kurori kushemeze kintu cha deployment. Ebindi nkabire ntine kizibuniwe. Konka you have kare rekitondo geshaga marita kite drum ya mati. Ako go and clean your house. Tikwe for the case of works, they are complaining of what? Gravozi amweto kutaho konko bumwe we are limited by the money. Konka niwe shode wakate chendire. Eriyo konke chendire nke yinkugambire ya nyanja ibiri ubwo burimu niwo watari kubi. Ekindi kaho your supervision also is okay. It is fantastic. By the way, since I joined the security, I have worked with 2 cows. One is Matthias Ndifuna, is your son. We worked together in Kagadi for 3 years. Ogunamara na umwaka tinka nanchireje konka. Yagumiraho nitugenda kumwe. Yagumiraho abo kana basa kumara umwaka na wari kushomembero gwa kabira tutera hansi. Kambe ndekire kumusima obundi tuba abanza marebiri tumwetegereza. But otherwise currently you have done it because we have achieved all that because of your performance, supervision, kandi chindi tori kukunda kunanka tokabire wo kongera mesano no maya no goye bumwe buroni bubura mesano wagumiraho nituza gukora. Otherwise chair abwo bushoborozo bumwampa I close the meeting. So is it a meeting or a conference? Conference closed.
MC, give us a direction.
Ladies and gentlemen, for official closer, let us have our national anthems, and then we go for lunch. 1 stance each, then we go. DJ. Bon appetit. Let us respect the protocol as we are getting served for lunch. Thank you. Our guard, sorry to have delayed you, but still, let us hear from you as you give us entertainment. Meanwhile, don't forget also later to enjoy on our lunch. Lastly, we have thanked everybody, yes, but again, special thanks to our secretariat. Secretariat, thank you so much. That desk, thank you so much. You've done it very well.
NigerDJMixtapes.com.
Mutoze yatuwa Museveni tufuze bulungi wana Uganda tuwagire Museveni asobola muzeeyi byakoze tubirabyeko atuzaza mukiraba mutyayo tuwagire Museveni asobola bana Uganda tuwagire Museveni asobola muzeeyi byakoze tubirabyeko abakyala mukiraba mutyayo tuwagire Museveni amalako bana Uganda tuwagire Museveni asobola muzeeyi byakoze tubirabyeko abavubuka mukiraba mutyayo tuwagire Museveni asobola Uganda tuwagire Museveni asobola muzeeyi byakoze tubirabyeko abavubuka banange mukiraba mutyayo tuwagire Museveni asobola bana Uganda tuwagire Museveni asobola muzeeyi byakoze tubirabyeko